Tonight's game is brought to you by Fun Trail Vans Incorporated. We're at Cougar Stadium tonight as Desales takes on Beechcroft. Good evening, everybody, from the north side. I'm Randy Reinhardt along with Tom McDonald, and welcome to high school football here on Coaxial and All-American. Desales with a record of 1-0 taking on Beechcroft. They have the same record. I guess, Tom McDonald, when you talk about the Stallions, you have to start with the big guy up front, Luke Fickle.
Boy, he's a big one too, Randy, and he's done an outstanding job for the Desales team the last few years. He's a big target. He's tough on offense, tough on defense.
Luke Fickle, a big guy at 6'4", 240 pounds. This guy's been around for 3 years. He's an outstanding wrestler as well, and he appeared on the cover of the August issue of Competition Sports Magazine. Yes, he's a star. Meanwhile, the star for Beechcroft, well, I think the guy you really have to talk about tonight is Philando Sharp, the quarterback.
Most definitely, Randy. Philando Sharp has done an outstanding job making the transition from an excellent running back to leading that quarterback of the option attack that Beechcroft has, and he's going to be tough to deal with.
Yeah, he was 4 out of 6 passing last week for 90 yards. Philando Sharp is a guy that's got great speed. Tom told you he was a running back last season. In fact, he only took 20 snaps at quarterback last season altogether. So a little young at quarterback, but a lot of experience, though, as a player for the Cougars on offense. Should be a great matchup tonight between Beechcroft and Desales. Tom and I will be back with the opening kickoff right after this. Welcome back to Cougar Stadium. Randy Reinhardt and Tom McDonald just about ready for the start of this contest between Beechcroft and Desales. Beechcroft won the toss, elected to receive. Desales will kick off and defend the goal to your right. Perfect conditions for high school football here at Cougar Stadium. This field is in great condition considering the, what should we call it, the extreme drought that we've had here in Central Ohio. Normally you have to have some precipitation to even call something a drought, but in this case, I'll tell you what, this field is in excellent shape. And here's the kick now by John Maley for the Stallions. The Cougars advance it all the way up across the 30, across the 35-yard line, up to the 37, but there's a flag down resting at the 47-yard line. On the return for the Cougars is number 28, Ed Temple. We'll sort out the flag situation here on the first play of the game. Your referee is Barry Brinkman.
Yes, Randy, it looks like it's with a holding penalty on the kickoff. It's going to set him way back. Not a great way to start a football game.
And there's the offense up front for the Cougars. Watch for Tom Cochran, a 3-year starter at tight end. Tony Minifield is very explosive. Passes for more than 600 yards last season. In the backfield, the guy that we talked about in the open, Philando Sharp, the quarterback, is a guy that had a great game last week, along with that 4 for 6 passing. He also rushed for 70 yards in that contest. Hairston, Swearingen, and Harris pick up the remainder of the backfield offensively for the Cougars. It is a clip, is the actual call on Beechcroft. March it back inside the 25-yard line to the 22. It'll be 1st and 10 from there with 11:56 left to go in quarter number 1. Glad to have you aboard for week number 2 of high school football on Coaxial and All-American. Now, Beechcroft on offense, a team that likes that wishbone and split backs. A lot of option. They can run outside and inside, a lot of speed. Philando Sharp up under center, 3 backs in the backfield. They take it right up the gut and will have a short gain across the 25-yard line up to about the 26-yard line. They'll pick up 4 on the play.
Randy, they're running from the wishbone set like you said, and that was the first option. They hand off to the fullback.
Sean Harris on the carry. And there's the Stallion defense. A 4-4. It has been a 4-4. It will stay a 4-4. Watch for Luke Fickle up front. And in the secondary, all 3 great ones, Ferry, Sauer, and Morlani. Option down the line. The pitch goes to Harris around the corner. Up across the 40-yard line. Harris still on his feet across midfield and all the way down into Stallion territory. That'll be more than enough for a first down, and the Cougar fans want a face mask call, but they don't get it.
Excellent job on the option by the quarterback, reading the defensive end, pitching the ball at the proper time. You'll see on the replay. And what really made this play work was the split end ran off the defensive back that was covering him and created that big seam.
And I am impressed by Philando Sharp already at quarterback. He makes the right decision, very quick, good hands. And they were talking about Frankie Wilson, the job he did here last year. Frankie, you know, threw for over 1,200 yards as a quarterback. The Cougars will have a slightly different look this season, but still very successful. They defeated Worthington Kilbourne last week by a score of 35-0. 11:07 left to go, 1st and 10 from the Stallion 48. Again, 3 backs in the backfield. The handoff goes to Mark Swearingen. Swearingen takes it down across the 45, down to near the 44-yard line. Tackle made on the play by Carlos Segovia.
Tell you, that was a double isolation where the fullback and right half led through the line of scrimmage, and with that big offensive line the Cougars had, they were able to dive forward for about 4 yards, Randy.
They have some good size on that offensive line, especially on the right side. Boris Ruffin, the right guard, is 5'11 and 295. Mike Morris, 5'11 and 245 at right tackle. 2nd down and 6 now. The pitch goes to the top of your screen. Again, that is Harris. And Harris is brought down right at the line of scrimmage, making the stop for the Stallions, number 40, Brian Valentine.
Excellent defense by Valentine, the outside linebacker. He read the sweep, knifed to the inside, and made the tackle. You'll see on the replay it's a sweep, and no one picked up number 40, Valentine.
Brian, just a first-year starter, a junior at 5'8 and 175 pounds. An interesting graphic about this series that we'll touch on right after this play. If you play in this game, you want to be the road team every year. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Exactly 10 minutes left to go, quarter number 1. Sharp, the pitch goes behind Harris, and he will fall on it back across midfield down to the 49 in Cougar territory. Well, for the last 5 years, it has not been the home team that has fared that well. You have to be a road warrior in this contest. Take a look at this. In 86, at Beechcroft, DeSales won. 87, at Beechcroft, DeSales won. 88, that was the first game that DeSales had at their new stadium. Beechcroft won 20-6. In 89, you can see what happened. And in 90, for those 5 years, the losing team, the home team, only scored 6 points. So much for 6 appeal in this contest. Tom Cochran, the punt. Oh, that is high and stays up there. Will bounce at the 10 and be down at the 9. What a punt by Tom Cochran. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Stallions in the shadows, their own goalpost, as we take a look now at DeSales on offense. A team that was victorious last week over Brookhaven by a score of 13-10. Volpe and Greco, a couple of guys you can see at wideout. It's Barlow, Samararo, Richardson, Fenlon, Tinarello, and Luke Fickle playing both ways for DeSales. Brian Emmerling, just a junior. He was a starter last year at quarterback. Magistrelli, Marlani, and Sauer. A few guys going both ways for DeSales. To start this series, it'll be Volpe and Sauer wide to the bottom of the formation. Volpe the widest. 9-10 left to go. We're scoreless. Sauer in motion. Handoff goes to the first man through, and he is nailed right at the line of scrimmage. I'm talking about great interior defense for the Cougars, as we'll touch on the starters for Beechcroft, as Magistrelli stood up right at the line of scrimmage. For DeSales, or for Beechcroft rather, on defense, there's the men to watch for: Cochran, Carroll, Moon, McCarter, Swearingen, Hairston, and Greathouse. The front 7, they always play with 4 in the secondary. Harris, Minifield, Temple, and Ball all experienced in the secondary. A loss of 1, let's call it 2nd down and 11. Again, Sauer in motion. Handoff off the left side, and again, nothing is there for the Stallions.
Boy, I'll tell you, Randy, this aggressive defense that the Cougars have is a trademark of their teams, and there's no exception this year. Those 2 tackles are quick. Moon's doing an outstanding job in those first 2 plays.
That was Marlani on the carry that time, and he is lucky to get it out to perhaps the 10-yard line. A gain of 2, let's call it 3rd and 9. Moon is a guy that last year, and in fact the year before that, was a starting center for the Cougars. Now has moved to the defensive side of the football.
Outstanding leg power.
3rd and 9 from the 10. Again, Sauer in motion to the top of your screen. Emmerling straight back to go, and I tell you, there is no room. He is brought down immediately. Pressure was on, and they had him hogtied back around the 5-yard line. One of the first guys in there was number 22, Damian Greathouse.
Randy, pressure's going to be on the way Beechcroft plays that aggressive blitzing defense. Straight man-to-man coverage with no help. They had about a 5'8" defensive back on Fickle. Ed Temple, he must be able to do the job. They have a lot of confidence in him. Great coverage.
Punting time now for the Stallions. Fickle does the duties, and that is high and very, very short, and it will roll dead at the 33-yard line. Well, Bob Jacoby, the head coach of the Stallions, likes Luke Fickle as a punter because Luke will kick it where you tell him to. He doesn't have maybe the best distance. He was not the punter last season, but he keeps the ball high, and he's very good handling the snap. And in a situation like that, I guess you want somebody very sure-handed back at the goal line.
That's for sure, Randy. You have to be able to catch the ball and get the kick off above all else.
So the Cougars winning this chess match of field position right now. 1st and 10 from the Stallion 34 with 6:51 left to go. Again, 3 backs in the backfield. Down the line, the handoff off the right side. The Cougars will advance it down across the 25 to maybe the 24-yard line.
It's pretty good initial line surge again, Randy. What they're doing with that wishbone defense is forcing Desales into a man-to-man type defense also.
Swearingen on the carry for the Cougars. Mark it down officially at the 25 as we put your ground level one more time.
Yeah, you'll see right there, really it wasn't a big diversity play, but it was right up the middle for good yardage.
Let's call it officially a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6 with 6:15 left to go in quarter number 1. No score from Cougar Stadium. Second man through, that is Harris. He loses the football. It's rolling free at the 28, and I think the Stallions have it. From our angle, it's hard to see, but now I can see who's got it, and guess who's got it? Big number 85, Luke Fickle.
Yes, Fickle was in there on defense, and he's a man that they're going to have to contain. Great break for Desales.
So the Stallions get it back, and we'll take a look at that one more time.
You'll see on the replay, it was a counter dive where they faked for the fullback, and it looked like he really never controlled the ball, and Fickle was right there to alertly fall on it. Let's see if they go up top, try to get some cheap points after this turnover.
A little play action, perhaps. 1st and 10. 5:55 left to go. Nope, they'll keep it on the ground. Take it off the right side. A short gain across the 30 to the 31. One thing we should mention is with our angle, it's always difficult to see who's carrying the ball on every play.
Randy, at the end of that play, a Beechcroft defender, number 22, Damian Greathouse, had the ball, and I don't know if the officials really knew it. He's in the end zone now with it.
That's right. He's all the way down 3 yards deep, and Damian's going to be coming back right now because they said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Greathouse."
That's
ball is down.
Right, that's a great sign of aggressive defense. Not just a team that tackles well, but a team that goes for those turnovers.
Bob Jacoby, head coach of the Stallions in his 4th year. He was 6 years as an assistant at DeSales, 2 years before that at Hamilton Township. Let's call it 2nd down and 8 now with the ball just across the 31-yard line. That's Sauer in motion. Handoff goes to the right side. That is Morlani on the carry.
He did a great job to just get a couple yards, but that trap play was defense excellently.
For DeSales on offense, their keys, according to Coach Bob Jacoby, is to sustain their drives, make no mistakes. Penalties kind of hurt them last week against Brookhaven, a game they won by a score of 13-10. And they're a team that won't pass very much, although they do have the quarterback who can do it, and Brian Emmerling. What a story he is. Wide to the bottom of the formation now is Volpe.
And the receivers who can catch it, led by their tight end, Luke Fickle, who they're going to look for.
Emmerling looks. The pass is thrown for Sauer. Nearly makes a one-handed grab. The pass is thrown behind him. It goes incomplete.
Excellent defense by Warren Ball. You know, when you're man-to-man coverage, you really don't have any help. It takes a lot of guts, and the 160-pounder did a nice job on the coverage.
Now, this Cougar team is tough. 35-0 last week. As you look at Andy Powell on the left there, you can see Andy. He is now an assistant coach again here at Beechcroft. Remember, he used to be the head coach for the Cougars. He's back now as an assistant. And just joined the team this week.
I'm sure Coach Dunlap is very happy about that. Another short punt
by Luke Fickle. It crosses midfield. It gets down to the 47-yard line. So Cougars again with excellent field position to start this drive. 1st and 10 with 4:13 left to go in quarter number 1. Now that's what I like about Beechcroft. They will schedule a tough 10 game. They don't care who you are. They want to get into the playoffs. They're Division II this year, but I mean, they opened with DeSales a few years ago, first game at their stadium, and they beat them. Worthington Kilbourne, last week it was their first game of that new high school. They beat them too at their place, 35-0. And the Stallions take a timeout.
Because they only had 10 men, Randy, and some poor soul's going to run out there now, and I have a feeling that he's going to hear. He's coming out now, and well, that's always an embarrassing
The wrath
time.
of Bob, perhaps?
Yeah, he'll get his, yes, on Sunday or Saturday film sessions. Smart move, though, by DeSales to call that timeout.
Right. You know, Tom, a lot of changes in the leagues in Central Ohio and throughout this contest, and next week we'll touch on some of them. Kind of review what's happening, first of all, I guess, in the City League. Remember, Beechcroft stays in the red division. Beechcroft is a team, too, that lost only 3 games in the last 4 years. Check that, 2 games, really, in the last 4 years in the red division play. That's really incredible. But, of course, this year you've got some new teams. Brookhaven, East, and Independence make the move up. And South Northland and Walnut Ridge go down to the Blue Division. So it's going to be a tough season for the Cougars, but they're ready for the challenge. Led by quarterback Philando Sharp, who brings them up 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line off the right side into Stallion territory down to the 49-yard line.
And for one of the few times tonight, Randy, they broke the wishbone, sent the fullback out as a flanker, and just had split backs. Once again, though, Beechcroft is managing to get good yardage on first down, usually 4 yards a carry. And that's what you look for in a wishbone or option attack.
Mark Swearingen on the carry, 5'6", 160 pounds. Played some at running back last year as we put you down closer to the ground. 3 Stallions make the stop. It'll be 2nd down and 7, 3:35 left to go. This time again off the right side, and guess who? And now he's free. Swearingen, 35, all the way down to the 32-yard line before Mark stepped out of bounds.
Boy, Swearingen, the senior, only 5'6", but does he have the leg drive? He was actually hit pretty good by a couple Desales defenders, but he broke loose and got another extra 10. You'll see he's popped real good there, keeps his feet, his momentum going, gets to the outside, lowers the boom, and a nice play and a first down.
You talk about the history of great running backs at this school. You talk about the Chambers, the Cobbs, of course, Ron Page, a great quarterback and runner for Beechcroft. You could list about 20 of them.
I remember him real well.
Philando Sharp keeps it, takes it down the line, and he is nailed right at the 31-yard line. Making the stop for the Stallions is number 32, Carlos Segovia. Now, he's an inside linebacker, 5'11", 190, and a junior that the Stallions are very, very high on.
Yes, he's a very nasty young man, and I think he was a little disappointed that he didn't wrap the ball carrier up the play before. He made sure he got the ball carrier this time.
A gain of, let's call it, just over 3 on the play, 2nd down and 7. And what great linebackers they had last year for DeSales. Remember Shallico Clark? And
I sure do.
John Callahan. 3:12 left. Sharp, the left side. He keeps it. Gets down across the 25, down to the 24. Now, ironically, Beechcroft, Tom, is a very explosive team, yet like DeSales, Beechcroft would like to control the football.
Well, they do an excellent job of controlling the football because they're going against an outstanding defense. DeSales always plays great defense. But in this particular case, that size advantage to Beechcroft is really paying off.
Sean Harris getting a play right now from Tom Dunlap. There's a guy who's really done a great job with this program. And Tom is in his 6th year. I got to tell you something. Yesterday he had a birthday. And he's no longer 30-something.
Uh-oh.
And he's older than Jimmy Connors.
Yep, that gives it away. And I think he got a shirt, too. I think he got that. Yep, I'll tell you, he's done a great job. He's very young at heart, puts in a year-round program. He has an excellent staff. They work hard 12 months out of the year, and it's paid off.
Dick Coyle, Earl Donaldson, Bill Reynolds, Ted Crabtree, Brian Miller, and Andy Powell. 3rd and minutia with 2:54 left to go here in quarter number 1. Scoreless from Beechcroft High School. 2 backs in the backfield. Sharp calls his own number, gets it down across the 20, all the way down to the 19.
4 or 5 yards on the quarterback sneak's not a good sign if you're a DeSales fan, but that's just excellent firing out of the football by Shad Merrick.
Merrick is a guy who's just a first-year starter at center. Remember, we were talking about Scott Moon, and Moon was the center the prior 2 years. Moon made the move to defense, and Shad Merrick's done a great job taking over for him at center. 1st and 10 just inside the 20. 2.5 left to go. Backs are split. Handoff off the right side. That is Swearingen, who gets pushed back towards the middle of the field, and a very short gain on that play, maybe 1 or 2.
Very short. That was probably one of the best defense plays the Beechcroft's been forced to, not gain yards this game. I'll tell you what, that's what DeSales is going to have to do, get him into those 2nd and long, 3rd and long situations, maybe force him to put the ball up, because I'm sure even though he was 4 or 6 last week, that's not their main weapon.
Carlos Segovia in on the stop, along with help from Jim Mangini, along with help from number 77, Tim Dardinger. 2nd down, let's call it 8. 1:55 left, quarter number 1. Again, the backs are split. That is Swearingen, or is it? No, it is the big fullback, number 49, Mark Hairston on the carry. Hairston gets it down for a short gain on the play. Hairston's a guy that's 5'7", 190 pounds. Played some at running back last year. Now, his cousin is David Madison. Remember the great Mifflin linebacker?
Boy, he was an intense individual.
Madison was, at least a 3-year starter. I'm thinking that he started like 3.5 seasons for the Punchers.
I wouldn't doubt that he got a lot of playing time as a freshman.
It was a great one. Mark it officially at the 15. 3rd down, let's call it a long 5. 1:17 left to go. Off the right side, that is Swearingen. Mark is inside the 10. Let's see where they mark him down. He should have enough for a first down. It should be first and goal.
It's first and goal, Randy. And one thing people might be wondering is why sometimes the quarterback comes straight down the line, other times he spins around, and that's to throw that defense off. If you're keying on that quarterback, sometimes he's going to the way he opens up, and sometimes he's not. So that forces you to stay in your tracks.
Swearingen is the guy that had a great game last week against Kilbourne. 7 carries, 61 yards. Sharp had 17 carries, 60 yards. Hairston, 13 carries, 63 yards. Sean Harris, 9 carries, 66 yards. They were kind of the 60 club, I guess. Off the right side, that is Hairston, and Hairston has stood up after maybe a gain of 1 on the play. There are 4 Stallions there, among them number 22. That is Jim Hassey, one of the outside linebackers.
I think several players that ended in 2 are in there. It looked like 22 and 32 and
all the 2s, and number 52, Jim Mangini. Good to see him playing football again for the Stallions, coming back from mononucleosis. Swearingen now in this game, 6 carries, 34 yards.
2nd and 8 could be considered a passing situation, but I don't think so, the way Beechcroft's been moving the ball.
Wide to the top of the formation is Eric Johnston. 2nd and goal from the 8. They get some motion in the Stallion defensive line, but not enough. The handoff goes to the left side, and that'll be Swearingen on a short gain.
Sure was, and that's only because it was a great football hit. That was a nice handoff by the quarterback, and look for him to maybe keep that ball in this 3rd and long.
Tim Major among the Stallions in on the stop. There's another name we've heard before. Major, Semeraro. You hear some of these same names over and over at Stallion country, and I tell you what, it is great tradition at Desales High School and Beechcroft High School as well. We have played the first 12 minutes here at Cougar Stadium. The score, Desales nothing, Beechcroft nothing. Back with the 2nd quarter right after this.
Hey Buckeyes, if you're like me, few things in life are as enjoyable as tailgating in your conversion van. And the only place to accessorize your van or pickup is here at Fun Trail Vans, 3966 Indianola Avenue. Here in the showroom, you'll find everything: custom video equipment, musical beverage coolers, alarm systems, and truck caps. Here's a Fun Trail tip. Ensure even wear of your van seats by having them rotated once a year. Call Fun Trail today. Ask about a conversion tune-up special.
This is how many cable channels your VCR can easily record. Just one. That's why VCR Plus was invented. Just punch in the Plus codes found in your Video Choices Guide beginning in September. VCR Plus will turn on your VCR, turn to the right channel even if you have a converter, start taping, and turn off your VCR. Now you can record as many as 14 different shows on different channels. Get the most out of your coaxial service. Get VCR Plus. Call 236-1200 and order yours today.
We are at Cougar Stadium for week number 2 of the high school football season. Randy Reinhardt and Tom McDonald, glad to have you aboard. Unofficial stats through 1 quarter. Beechcroft 3 first downs. Desales with none. Yards rushing. Beechcroft 76, Desales 4. No passing yards for either team. Beechcroft lost a fumble in the first quarter. And the Cougars had 1 penalty for 15 yards. That's the story. Scoreless, but the Cougars driving with the ball down inside the 10-yard line. Mark it officially at the 7. 3rd and goal from there as we start quarter number 2.
This could be their first real passing down. The split end or flankers in a little tight. There it is, a dump pass.
The quick pop, a little dump for Tom Cochran, the tight end, and it is good enough for a touchdown with 11:57 left to go in the half. That didn't take long, and now the Cougars lead by a score of 6-0.
Well, they sure made that look easy. Excellent execution of the pop pass, and that cornerback who's been reading the tight end blocking down, I think 84, took an inside release, and what that caused the corner to do is forget about him and come up for the run, and then 6 points for Beechcroft. Nice job.
Cochran with the touchdown catch. We put you right down there on the field. And the snap, the kick, and the extra point is good by Lance Finkel, and now the Cougars lead by a score of 7-0. Now that was not a beautiful pass by any stretch of the imagination, but it got the job done for the Cougars. That's what we were talking about with Philando Sharp, and I think with time the arm will come. He's got the distance. He just needs to work on his touch a little bit, and already this guy's 5 out of 7 on the season. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns.
Yes, and you'll see on the replay, once again, the inside release to the tight end makes it tough to read, and by the time the defender reacted, the ball was there. You know, Randy, the way they run the ball so often and so well makes the defensive backs a little bit lax towards the pass. And hopefully Ohio State won't run into that same situation tomorrow because they're going to face an option team.
We'll talk about the Buckeyes in detail throughout this contest. Of course, it'll be a little dated for those watching the Sunday replay, and we'll give our predictions on the Browns and Bengals. We were both 500 last week on the Cleveland and Cincinnati picks, and I would have rather to have been wrong the other way.
Same here, same here.
Never thought the Browns would be looking up at the Patriots. These are sad times for dog fans. That drive was 11 plays, 53 yards, took 4:09 off the clock. Cochran, the 7-yard touchdown pass from Orlando Sharp. Extra point added. We stand at 7-0. Kickoff time for the Cougars. Dave McCarter will boot it. This is one problem the Cougars had last week. Kilborn was able to get the ball out to the 40 just about every time. Let's see what happens here for Jeff Reinfrank on the return. No, he doesn't get out that far, only to the 30. So he is stopped on the play by number 33, Larry Thomas, the 5'7", 135-pound junior.
It's called selling out, Randy, and that's aggressive play of the special teams. If you think back, the punting game's been dominated by Beechcroft. You'll see this kickoff is a nice one. Looks like he may have some momentum going up the seam, but little number 33 just knifed in and did a nice job.
And then there was light as we flip on the light switch here at Cougar Stadium. Does that help you?
Yes, I've mentioned Larry Thomas's name now.
Oh, okay.
Good job, Larry.
Mike Greco wide to the bottom of the formation for the Stallions. First down and 10, 11:35 left to go in the half. That is Fickle in motion. The big man in motion. They try to pitch the other way, and the pitch is literally blocked. The pitch is literally blocked on the play by Damian Greathouse. Again, this guy is in there early. That'll be a fumble recovery for the Cougars.
Unbelievable. And this option, if you can hit the mesh point and disrupt the concentration and design of the play, you're going to be in for some big plays of your own. And that's exactly what the Beechcroft Cougars did. Will they come back to the dump pass, or will they go for the option? They run Fickle in motion, trying to decoy the defense, which is probably a good thing to do, but just too much penetration by Beechcroft.
So with a turnover, the Cougars get the ball back. First and 10 from the Stallion 25, already leading 7-0 with 11:15 left to go in the half. Hairston is the fullback. But the handoff goes to Swearingen off the left side. A pickup maybe 3 on the play.
Now, we've had to go against Beechcroft, and we've had him on cable TV the years that I didn't play him. That was a new wrinkle. They sent 2 backs the opposite way of the play to really throw off the reads of the Desales linebackers.
You know, people in Central Ohio are talking about the way that you picked those plays last week. You knew when they were coming. We're talking about that with Tom Dunlap, and he said you're going to have a hard time guessing what the Cougars are going to call.
There you go.
Handoff right up the middle. They'll advance it down to the 20-yard line. A gain of just 2 on the play. That'll be Greathouse on the carry, the guy who recovered the fumble. Let's call it 3rd down and 5.
And Randy, the last time they were in a 3rd down and long, the old dump pass for 6 points was the call. Will they come back to the well, or will they keep it on the ground?
You would think that the Cougars would take it wide. Let's see what happens. Top of the formation going wide right now is Eric Johnston as a wideout with 10:14 left to go in the first half. They take it wide. It is Sharp. He's looking for the pass. It is complete. And I believe that's Eric Johnston on the far side of the field.
Nice touch on the football. Who said that man couldn't throw? He put that the only place it could be caught. Really good defense, but an excellent toss. Pitch and catch. First down, Beechcroft.
Take a look one more time. Nobody said he couldn't throw. Everybody was just saying, you know, Frankie Wilson threw for 1,200 last year. I tell you what, these Cougars are going to be a scary team, not only in the City League, but they play some OCC opponents this year. I look for them to be around at playoff time.
I do too, and I noticed they put in Scott Moon at fullback now.
First and goal now. Mark the ball at the 7. That is Swearingen off the left side, still fighting. Did he make it in? No.
No, but he's darn close, and that's an excellent first down call. Desales is really going to have to try to make something happen. I see they're sending in their goal line defense now, and they're going to have to try to keep Beechcroft out of the end zone.
And if you're Bob Jacoby, what do you tell your team defensively as you look at this play one more time from ground level?
Well, they're just going to have to come out lower because Beechcroft has got the weight advantage, and they're actually doing whatever they want to with that defensive front of Desales.
Second down and goal. The ball just past the 1-yard line, and flags fly. Could we have a delay of game perhaps on the Cougars?
Well, it didn't seem like that would be the call. Maybe one of them was in the neutral zone.
9:31 left to go in the first half.
I know one thing. Beechcroft's got a whole lot more to lose than Desales did. They could have only lost a half a foot where
That's right.
Beechcroft ended up losing the 5 yards.
Encroachment is the call on the Cougars. March it back 5 to the 6-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal from there with 9:31 left to go in the half. And it is 7-0 in favor of the Cougars. Both teams 1-0 on the season. Stallions struggled to get by Brookhaven 13-10. Cougars breezed by the Wolves of Worthington Kilbourne by a score of 35-0. Swearingen on the carry. Gets it inside the 5 and inside the 3-yard line.
And of course, with the goal line defense, that's probably the toughest place for Beechcroft to run. They're keeping their goal line defense in on this play, and if I'm not mistaken, or I wouldn't be surprised if they faked to the inside and got around the corner.
I was just going to ask you about that. Do you fake and go outside, or do you try that quick pop at the tight end again?
That's true against this goal line defense, but of course Beechcroft's breaking their wishbone. They had a little mix-up too, and this is a very crucial play. It was a smart move by Philando Sharp to call that timeout.
And he takes a timeout. That is the first timeout taken by the Cougars. Each team with 2 left in the first half. Well, Tom, we talked about so many interesting things going on in Central Ohio and so many things happening with high school sports. Now, if you're a fan of high school sports, you're the person that we want to hear from. If you have a question, a comment, there's something you'd like to see, drop us a line to that address. It's Sports Director, 3770 East Livingston Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43227. We're sincere when we say if you write us, we'll respond. We'll put it up again in the second half. We'll leave it up a little while longer. But if you have a question, a comment, if you enjoy high school sports, let us know, because let's face it, Coaxial and All-American, these 2 cable companies are the home for high school football, high school basketball, the Horizon, Columbus Clippers, you name it. You see local sports right here. You don't see that from the commercial stations in town.
Well put, Randy. And I'll tell you, there was no negative mail this week, and we're looking for some more positive in the future.
Did you read it already?
Got through most of it.
You dog, you're holding out on me. 3rd and goal from just past the 3. Sharp on the keeper around the right side. He took it wide and then cut it inside, and he scores with 8:48 left to go. It is now 13-0 Cougars.
Yes, sirree, Randy. That was a big play. Gave him an extra touchdown. They would have had to settle for the field goal, and I think things are going Beechcroft ways. But I'll tell you, on the replay, you can see excellent fake. Nice cut.
Lance Finkel now on to attempt the 14th point. High snap, the kick is up, the kick is good. So now it is a 14-zip lead for the Cougars. Not quite halfway through the second quarter. All right, offensively now, we talked about what the Stallions had to do on defense, but offensively, from a regrouping standpoint, do you change anything? Do you have to throw anything away down by 2 touchdowns as you look at this replay of Philando Sharp taking it in?
Well, I think, Randy, that against a lot of teams, a couple touchdowns would really be demoralizing. But the Stallions have such great tradition. They've got a lot of pride. They've got great disciplined kids. I don't think they're going to push the panic button just yet. They realize, though, to compensate for that speed of Beechcroft, they're going to have to make some big plays, and they haven't been able to do so yet.
Speaking of panic buttons, did you push it tonight?
Yes, I did. Someone, I think, fibbed at me. I was the, well, I won't say, but
should we say?
I'll tell you, if the game would have been at Desales, I would have probably been the only one at the stadium.
Tom was at Desales tonight at 6:30, ready for the contest. And then when nobody showed up, he realized that the game was at Beechcroft High School.
It didn't take me all that long either. I'd say 15, 20 minutes. And I said, hey, yeah.
You made great time. Of course, you know, we're on the north side. They're only about 10, 15 minutes apart.
Thank goodness.
We're glad to have you here. Nice of you to show up this week.
I'll tell you.
He's going to kill me at halftime. Hey, you're not the only person that has happened to. I did that once for a City League championship game in basketball about 5 years ago.
I hope one was at Eastmore and the other one was at...
Oh, that kick is barely fallen on by a Stallion around the 27-yard line. That would have been a free ball. That was Jeff Reinfrank who went for the ball, and now they throw a flag. Are they calling a late hit, perhaps?
Yes, Randy, and I'll tell you, I don't think it was the one on the official either. What happened was, you'll see on the replay, I think the aggressive play of Larry Thomas. Remember, he was the one on the first kickoff. He comes in with his head, and that's what they're going to call, I believe. Really, it was great effort, and I think they could have gone either way.
I think, though, they're going to call a procedure penalty, perhaps, on the Cougars instead. See the rotation of the arms by our referee tonight, who is Barry Brinkman. Tom will check into that.
I've never seen a procedure that take place after the play, have you?
Take a look at the play one more time.
Oh, I'll tell you what happened. The ball was out of bounds. See, once it hit out of bounds, it's dead.
Yep.
and then everything else
and
is
then it's spun
immaterial.
back in. I tell you, you've got the best view watching this monitor. We can attest to that. You have the seat sitting there with your popcorn because our view is obstructed. We can only see about 60 yards of the field. So occasionally we'll glance at the field and then come back and look at the monitor. It's a tough see here, but tell you what, this is an excellent facility, and they do a great job keeping this well manicured. And after seeing the way the drought has hit Central Ohio, I can't believe that this football field is in Columbus. It is gorgeous. 8:48 left to go, and one more time, Mr. McCarter will tee it up. This time, the ball is back at the 35-yard line. Well, this has been one of the problems for Beechcroft, the kicking game through the first 5 quarters of the season. So the Stallions can get good field position. This is Morlani. Check that. That is Reinfrank up across the 30-yard line to around the 34, and another solid hit.
How about Julian Griffin? He went airborne, did a 2.5 gainer on that kickoff. Didn't make the tackle or anything, but he's up. Great kick coverage by Beechcroft.
The happy man you saw was Larry Thomas.
He was in there again. You'll see. I hope you get to see number 40 in the middle of the field on the, if we get a replay of the kickoff.
Might get a chance a little later on. 8:42 left to go. 14-0 now. Cougars on top. 1st and 10 from the 35. Handoff that is right up the gut to Nick Magistrelli, the 6'1", 180-pound senior. Pick up just about 5 on the play up to the 40.
Hard-nosed runner, an excellent first down play on the counter dive.
Well, you can't be telling too much for those guys in the Cougar huddle. They're doing a great job. James Bowman, number 64, you could see. Boris Ruffin in there. Some of the offensive linemen getting a quick lecture from one of the assistant coaches. 2nd down and 6 now, they say officially, from the 40-yard line. Emmerling pitches to Magistrelli. Nick gets it up across the 42 to the 43.
Great
Magistrelli
job.
might be one of the guys they look for here in the first half and second half.
I would think so. He's a tough kid. He comes from a good family, and that was a big play. But I'll tell you, it was excellently defensed by Eddie Temple. He's in charge of the option, and really the pitch man, and he got him.
Magistrelli had 15 carries last week for 74 yards, talking about his fine family. His father, Louis, of course, was the postmaster up in Westerville. 3rd down, let's call it a long 3. Right up the gut. That is Magistrelli, and it's not going to happen. It'll be 4th down.
Not even close, Randy. Beechcroft rose to the occasion. They're going to force another punting situation, but if you remember the last time Desales punted, they really didn't get much yardage, so Beechcroft may get great field position again.
We'll see what happens. Fickle is back to punt.
Crazier,
average punt right now, Tom, 23 yards for the Stallions.
Randy, crazier things than fakes have occurred, or maybe a shift or something to try to draw the... Yep, the
You
shift.
called that.
There it was, and they got it.
Tom McDonald, you're killing me. You're killing me.
Well, beginner's luck.
You know, you ought to coach high school football. Did anybody tell you that?
But you know something? I think it's legal, and we did it, so I got to support it. But these officials, then they always get together and say, now, did they draw them offside or didn't they?
Of course they did.
Sometimes, most of the time, we got the call, but...
Encroachment is
yeah,
the call
that's
on the
what
defense.
usually happened.
Yep.
Give me 4 more down.
And that should be enough for the 1st down. Mark it out. Across the 45-yard line up to the 48.
We had a special word that we used. I don't think Coach Dunlap's very happy on that play. And, you know, it can go both ways. But since we did it, I have to support it.
But because you did it, did that make it right?
Well,
if everybody else jumped off a bridge, would you?
I think it's within the framework of the rules, as was obviously displayed by the 5-yard penalty in this case. It is a big break, and it's something the Stallions needed. Now, will they be able to capitalize it, or will that just irritate the Beechcroft Cougars that much more? Remains to be seen.
What a season for the Stallions last year, all the way to the state championship game in Division II, and Brian Emmerling was a guy who was actually the 3rd-string quarterback to start the year, but because of injuries, he got his chance to play, and Brian has just done an outstanding job leading the Stallions. Of course, he's got a great ability to really bring everybody together. He's an outstanding leader out there in the field, a quality I think he picks up from his father, Chuck Emmerling, a great leader here in Central Ohio. And I'll tell you what, the Stallions having a rough first half, but let's see what happens at the halftime. I've never seen a Stallion team down by a couple of touchdowns that didn't regroup in the second half.
I don't know what the delay is here, but I tell you, this is the same thing that always happened when we did it. You had to kind of bite your nails and wait and see what they're actually going to decide. And boy, this one's taking a lot longer than most.
I have no clue what the problem is. Referee Barry Brinkman has held up play. They want to put some time back on the clock.
I don't think that's the main concern of Coach Dunlap, whether it's 6:12 or 6:07. He wants the 5 yards back.
I think they want some time back on the clock, perhaps. So we'll check and see if that is the situation. Total offense in this first half, Beechcroft 113 yards, Desales 6 yards.
And that's the story right there, Randy. You can't score if you can't move the football, and Beechcroft's combination of Beechcroft's alert defense and then their sustained drives on offense, keeping the ball, has contributed to that statistic.
Sun is going down over the north side of Columbus here as you look at a sellout crowd here at Cougar Stadium. Our thanks to Brent Dearbar, one of the best athletic directors in Central Ohio, giving us this great seat here up at the 50-yard line. This is a beautiful facility.
But don't you usually reserve saying that until after or if they bring hot dogs and pop at half?
Yeah, we didn't get any last week, did we?
Well, I hope the people are listening over there at Whitehall. We have them again, don't we?
Yes, we do, and they do a great job.
No, they do. I don't need any.
And Earl Donaldson, a couple of plays.
The old cheat sheet. Boy, he's a great coach. He's masterminded that Beechcroft strategy for a long time.
Little in size, big in talent. Handoff goes right up the gut to Magistrale. Nick gets it all the way down to the 43-yard line and very close to another Stallion first down. This is the guy they need to break up the middle. You know, they lost all their running backs from last year. Chad Young and Steve Smith are both gone, so they're looking for that guy that can carry the ball and really carry the load as well, and I think Nick Magistrale might be the back that they point to.
I agree, Randy, and although Beechcroft's bigger total team size-wise, on offense against the Beechcroft defense, I think Desales can hold his own weight-wise.
Second and less than one. Emmerling. Hands it off right up the gut. Handoff goes to number 33, Craig Ness, 5'9" and 185, and a senior.
I thought maybe they'd go to the well and try a play-action pass with the second turn, but I think they want to establish that they can get first downs, and I'm almost sure they do have one in that run by number 33, Craig Ness.
It is a first down to the 42-yard line in Cougar territory. 5:12 left to go. And I think you're right, though. You know, this is a team that likes to play ball control offense. So even though they're down by 2 touchdowns, you alluded to it, I don't think they're going to panic. Try to get a score here, maybe going at halftime only down by a score of 14-7. Remember, they would get the kick to start the second half. Off the right side, Magistrale down to perhaps the 40, and that's it.
Practice this week, I saw Desales working on this, the first play option in the veer option attack. But I'll tell you, they weren't going against the defense quite as quick as the Cougars are.
Sean Harris makes a stop for the Cougars. The cornerback, 5'6", 150, a 2-year starter. Take a look at this one more time.
You'll see on the replay, the quarterback makes a nice read, and the ball carrier is supposed to, when the track's closed, veer to the outside, but Beechcroft's support was too tough.
Dave McCarter won't get credit for the tackle, but he is the defensive end that really made that play for the Cougars. Second, let's call it 8 from the 40. Pitch goes to Magistrale, top of your screen. Nick with room, 40, 35, 30, 28-yard line, enough for a Stallion first down.
Boy, Magistrale showed me a lot there, Randy. You don't often outrun the Cougar defense, but he did exactly that, and you have to give excellent credit to Emmerling. Nice job on the counter option.
That's what I mean about Brian. Brian is a guy that after last season does not panic, a guy that knows how to handle this football team at quarterback. Shows his composure here, and look at the run by Magistrale. The Stallions really, finally, for the first time, spread out that Cougar defense.
Fickle made a nice downfield block also, Randy.
And Temple with the stop. First and 10 from the 28, 4:02 left to go in the half. Again, Magistrale up the middle to the 25-yard line.
Good call. I think Coach Jacoby realizes that Magistrale is a horse, and he was a defensive player last year, so you know he's got toughness, and I think he's going to see the ball an awful lot tonight.
As we said, this has been an interesting series. The visiting team has won the last 5 years, and for the last 5 years, the home team has scored 6 points. The other time, they scored zippity-doo-dah. It's when Desales won 21-0 back in '87. 2nd and 7 from the 25. 3:28 left to go in the first half. Backs are split for Emmerling. Pitch down the line. Around the right side, that is Ness. Ness has an opening down to the 10-yard line. What a run on the play by Craig Ness. They had you thinking inside, 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 and then they took it wide.
They sure did, Randy, and a great downfield block by Doug Sauer enabled him to, on the corner, enabled him to make the big yards. You'll see, nice fake, pitch off the pitch man. He gets to the outside, and you probably will get to see the block. Yeah, way downfield. Boy, this could turn this game or give a lot more momentum to Desales if they can put one in here.
Tony Minifield on the stop, 1st and goal from the 4. 3:17 left to go. They're almost moving the ball too rapidly right now.
They're going left.
They're going left, says Tom McDonald. I feel like a golf announcer right now. Backs are split. He's right. They were going left. Well, that is Ness on the carry. Did he get in? I guess not.
No, he didn't, but that's okay too, because run a little more time off the clock. With the explosive Beechcroft offense, I think I wouldn't be in any real big hurry to get in, although you certainly want to put some points on the board after having been shut out the whole first half.
My point exactly. I think you want to score that touchdown, be deliberate. You can see the time left, just under 3 here in the first half, and try to go in down 14-7 perhaps and get the ball back to start the second half. 2nd and inches from inside the 1-yard line. It'll be Magistrale right up the gut, and I'll tell you what, he didn't get more than an inch.
No, and now you start thinking, the heck with that clock. I want to get that ball in the end zone, and I better do it on this play. I don't think they'll pitch it, though. I think they'll give it to Magistrale again, maybe without the counter action, because there's not too many people on Beechcroft that are reading anyway. Right now, they're all penetrating.
Stands vibrating here at Cougar Stadium. They were throwing little miniature footballs out to the crowd here, and the fans were going crazy. The cheerleaders are throwing some more as we take a look at this replay one more time.
See the counter action? Really, Beechcroft's going to do the same thing there in interior line, whether you open up and hand the ball off right away or you spend a little time in the counter dive. And what happened there was the penetration was way too much. Great defense.
I tell you what, the guy that really made that play again was Dave McCarter, 6 feet, 190 pounds, the senior. He's a guy that's come in a couple times and submarined the blocker and gotten to the running back. Did the exact same thing on that play. Timeout is taken with 2:26 left to go.
Yes, and this is such a critical play. I'm sure they'll go for it. They really have 2 downs to get the 1 inch, 1 foot, or 1 yard, whatever you want to call it. So I look for them to give it to big old number 9, or to have the quarterback sneak it himself.
Desales takes their 2nd timeout. They have 1 left. Cougars with 2 remaining. That's the story here as we literally put you on the goal line. Couldn't have a better seat right now. Randy Reinhardt, Tom McDonald, the week number 2 of high school football, 91. All right, let's hear your prediction for 3rd down.
3rd down. Well, he called timeout.
Look
so
at the formation first.
Oh, geez. 4 quick. They're going to run a sneak or give it to that big fullback, 33.
Emmerling.
No doubt.
Long count. That is Ness. Is he in?
Yes, he is.
Touchdown. Stallions, 2:21 left to go. It's now 14-6.
That was an interesting offensive set. You know, in theory, you almost have to put somebody out on each one of those wide receivers, but basically when you're on a 1-foot line, as you see on the replay, that's all you need to do. And boy, that ball was bobbled.
Ness was reaching it over the goal line, nearly lost the handle.
Thank goodness he got the 2 arms raised from one of the 4 officials.
John Maley in to attempt the extra point.
You see there in that muddle huddle type.
I call that the Westerville North huddle. The Warriors like to do that all the time. They've used that to perfection about 5 times over the last 3 years. The snap, the kick is up, and the kick is good.
Sure is, and it would catch maybe a team that's not quite as disciplined as Beechcroft off balance. A great drive after that break on the penalty, and I'll tell you, they took advantage of it, and the momentum really could be swinging.
That time, Ness was untouchable until he crossed the plate. So it's a touchdown for the Stallions, and kind of what we talked about. Still too much time left in the first half, really, because the Cougars still have 2:21 left to go. Beautiful shot here of the sun going down. You know what gets me is we're looking outside. It is a lot darker than that, but those guys in the truck make that look beautiful. Looks like a Norman Rockwell painting come to life right now.
It really does. It's incredible. Maybe we'll see a rainbow here pretty soon.
That's right. Michael Myers.
Then we know it's the truck.
Michael Myers pushing the buttons in there. Ness, the 1-yard run. The drive was 12 plays, 64 yards. It took 6:21 off the clock. That's a long drive right there. And Maley added the PAT. Of course, we were talking about Mr. Maley. John Maley's got a younger brother, Matt Maley, on the football team. And, of course, Andy Maley played for the Stallions and was at Ohio State, and now he's over at Otterbein.
Randy, to kick off the game, Desales was smart enough to keep it away from the two dangerous return man, Greathouse, excuse me, and Minifield. I think they're going to squib kick it again, and I don't think either one of those two is going to have the opportunity to carry that football.
You're looking over the shoulder right now of Mr. Minifield. Now it's kickoff time for John Maley. With 2:21 left to go. Teed at the 40. Kicks it along the turf, and that bounces off the Cougars and bounces way upfield all the way up to the 34-yard line, I think. Beechcroft got it, but that ball bounced forward about 6 yards.
It sure did. It ricocheted like a pinball, but he alertly recovered it, but it was almost a big play by Beechcroft, and I think that's number 68 that was the first one down there. That's Andy Boysel.
Take a look at this one more time. And going for the ball, too, was Ed Temple. He might have gotten there as well. Temple was the guy that saw the ball ricochet off him. So with 2:21 left to go, it'll be Cougars first and 10 now. Clock running from the 33-yard line. And officially, I have Beechcroft with 2 timeouts left in the first half. That is Hairston. He's got it up to the 41-yard line. Let's see if the Cougars hurry back up to the line of scrimmage.
Well, I'm sure they will, or at least a quick huddle. That's the outside veer, which is a little bit different than the play they've been running primarily, which is the inside veer. Forces that defensive end in a tough situation in those 4-4 defenses.
Quickly, Sean Harris in with the play. Leaving is Richard Harris. Second down and 3.
They're going to come back to that dump eventually.
Sharp will keep it. Turn it upfield. He gets it up to the 45-yard line, and he should have enough for a first down that should stop the clock when they move the chains. They're still looking. They're looking. They're looking. Now they stop the clock and say it's a first down. With 1:29 left to go in the half, they'll move the chains. Again, checking back in is Richard Harris, fresh from MacArthur Park with a play. Checking out number 25, Sean Harris.
Desales is in a bend but do not break defense, and really if they can force Beechcroft to run about 3 more plays without using timeouts, they should run this half out.
Tom Cochran is the tight end to the bottom of that formation. The backs are split behind Sharp. Handoff off the left side, and I'll tell you what, the Cougars get to midfield, and that's about it. They're going to have to hurry back up to the line of scrimmage.
That's right. They're defensing the outside options of this veered offense, and it's really paying off for them. Forces Beechcroft to use one of their timeouts, Randy.
Mark Hairston on the carry gets it up to midfield. Timeout called by the Cougars. Unofficially, I have them with 1 left in this first half.
Nice hit by Valentine and a couple other people on that play, Randy.
And Tom McDonald, a reminder, some great football action coming up next week. We are going to head east to see Centerburg taking on New Albany. Both teams, as we speak right now, are 1-0.
That's right. And whoever put this schedule together has done an excellent job. I'll tell you, if there's a one premier game in Central Ohio tonight, I think we're sitting right at it.
We are at it, and I think the most exciting game last week was the game that we covered.
Turned out to be, sure did.
There's Scott Moon resting. Here's a guy that's played everywhere. I wonder if he gets schizophrenic. The guy's been a center, a defensive tackle, and he's a fullback. He can do it all for the Cougars.
Now the Cougars are breaking their bone, which is normally a passing formation. Of course, with 1:05 left, I can see why.
Second down, let's call it 9 from midfield. 1:05 left to go, 14-7. Beechcroft on top. Sharp ready to get the Cougars back to the line of scrimmage. One back to the backfield. He's looking for the quick pop. He's got it out to midfield. They try to get him in the open field one-on-one. He'll get down to maybe the 43-yard line. He carries the Stallion for an extra 3 yards.
And he stayed in bounds, too, although that last Desales defender almost knocked him out of bounds. Did you hear that?
We can hear the plays being called by
91 digging
by Tom Dunlap that particular time. We can hear the sideline microphones on both sides. So it's third down and less than 2. You want to say that one more time?
91 digging. It's a quick pass. And it might even be the same play. Usually 90s mean just a 2-step drop. The quarterback steps right up and fires the ball out there.
Half a minute left to go. Sharp goes back. He's looking downfield. The pass is thrown into double coverage. Who's got it?
The offense has it.
I think the Cougar has it right there at the 37-yard line. Let's unsort that pile.
Yes, sir, and I don't think he had it when it started out, but a great job of fighting for that football by Eric Johnston done.
Johnston makes the catch. Now, we should point out as you look at this one more time that nobody else can hear what we heard on that last play. We're the only ones that could hear that, so no one is stealing anything that we heard. And now the ball is down to the 37-yard line. Clock stops with 20 seconds left to go in the first half. 14-7 is the score. Now, if you are the Cougars and you've taken your last time out, what do you tell your team right now? As you can see, number 24, Lance Fickle, is warming up his leg.
Well, you know, the kicking game, when he kicked those extra points, he looked like he had plenty of distance to spare, but not this much. They're going to have to get down about 20 more yards. I think they can afford to throw a pass over the middle and then run to the line of scrimmage, throw the ball away, and still have time to kick it right now. And I think DeSales will be looking for the out route, so it's going to be a little bit interesting what strategy both coaches have decided on.
I got a question. You went to the wrong school, but you still had time to bring us candy to the game tonight. You are a guy that is really prepared.
That's why I bought that at the gas station where I asked directions.
Where are they playing football tonight?
He said, just right down the street there.
First and 10 from the 37. 20 seconds left to go. 14-7. Beechcroft driving, and they're ahead. And Sharp looking downfield. Pump fake. Sees an opening.
Ooh.
But it's not a big one. He'll get it down to the 35-yard line. That could be the last play of the half if they don't hurry up.
It would be if you played for Coach James. He did just what the DeSales players try to do, kind of lay on the pile a little bit.
2-1. Minifield is finally back to the line, and Sharp tries to get under center, but it is not in time. That is the end of the first half. So now, after 2 quarters, the score is Beechcroft 14, DeSales 7. Back with our halftime show right after this. Stay tuned.
It isn't every day you get offered something.
Welcome back. We're at halftime. Beechcroft leads DeSales 14-7. Right now, we are being entertained by the DeSales High School Marching Band under Bill Steller. He's in his 6th year right now. His assistant band director is Lori Steller, his wife. Percussion instructor is James Stutler. Drill team advisors are Gina Fencelli and Jenny Kinsey. The field commander is Tracy Dorgan. The featured twirlers are Kathy Binns and Shane Cox. Their first number was La Brava. Second number was New Orleans, old Gary U.S. Bonds number, with trumpet solos by Parnell Kelly and Andy Selhorst. And now their final song is Secret of the Desert, with a trumpet trio featuring Misters Kelly and Selhort and David Blue. Here now, the DeSales High School Marching Band. That was Secret of the Desert, performed by the Desales High School Marching Band under Bill Steller in his 6th year. The assistant band director, as we told you, was Lori Steller. Percussion instructor is James Stutler. Drill team advisors Gina Fancelli and Jenny Kinsey. Field commander Tracy Dorgan. Featured twirlers Kathy Binns and Shane Cox. They have 39 musicians in the band. They have tickets on sale for the $500 raffle at all Desales home games, so you want to check that out. Also, they have a cheese and sausage sale coming up in November. That's all coming up for the Desales High School Marching Band. Bill Steller has done a great job, and I got to tell you something. They are wearing new uniforms tonight. Check out those babies. Those are very, very classy. I tell you, Bill has done a great job with that band program at Desales High School. Just about ready now for the Beechcroft High School Marching Band under Alan Notstein in his first year. The drill team advisor is Jill Yoakum. The flag advisor is Charity Keller. Field commander is Michael Moncrief. The majorette is Linda Ritter. The drill team captain is Sharita Garner. They have 47 musicians in the Beechcroft High School Marching Band, 67 people in all, including the peripherals. We'll be playing 3 numbers tonight. We'll hear the first 2. First 2 numbers are Magnificent 7, followed by Cheyenne. The third song will be the Cougar Fight Song. Here now is the Beechcroft High School Marching Band under Alan Notstein. We're at halftime of the contest between Desales and Beechcroft. And Beechcroft on top right now by a score of 14-7. Stallions with a late touchdown in the second quarter. And remember, Desales will get the ball back to start the second half. It could be very, very interesting here on the north side. Just a reminder, too, for the Beechcroft High School Marching Band, we've got an event coming up November the 23rd. A pizza sale will start November the 23rd. If you'd like more information, you can call 365-6694 for more information. Once again, a pizza sale starting November the 23rd. You can call Beechcroft High School. Get more information, call this number at 365-6694 or call the high school main number. Here now, the Beechcroft High School Marching Band. This is the Beechcroft High School Marching Band you're watching and listening to. That was Magnificent 7, actually the theme from that great movie. Remember Yul Brynner and the gang? What a great flick that was. Here now is the song Cheyenne, performed by the Beechcroft High School Marching Band. We're at halftime. Cougars lead the Stallions by a score of 14-7. One more song from the Cougar Marching Band. high school marching band. That song was Cheyenne. Remember, a pizza sale starts November the 23rd. Call 365-669-4 for more information. We're at halftime. Beechcroft leads the Sales by a score of 14-7. The second half just around the corner. But first, we'll take a break and take a peek at our Sports Medicine Grant players of the game from last week. Stay tuned.
I'm Dr. Ray Tessner, Medical Director from Sports Medicine Grant. Just like sports medicine, football is a team sport. When one of us achieves some degree of success, it reflects the hard work and dedication of the entire team. With that in mind, I'd like to present this week's Sports Medicine Grant Players of the Game.
38 officially now with 4:24 left to go. This is Reese, cuts it inside. There goes Reese up the middle. 40, 35, 30. Didn't take long, did it? Oh. 10-5, Stephen Reese, touchdown. 62 yards, and like the backs are split. And it's Hurt up the middle. 20, 25, 30. Give him the oxygen. Midfield, 40. This could be a 94-yard touchdown run. He survives. 94 yards with 9.
I'm Tom Crawford, Center Director for Sports Medicine Grant. Congratulations to these outstanding athletes, their teammates, and their respective schools. Enjoy the second half of the game and tune in next week for Sports Medicine Grant's Players of the Game.
They're happy. Their Cougars lead by 7 at halftime, 14-7. How about that Sports Medicine Grant Player of the Game feature? First of all, we appreciate the cooperation of Dr. Ray Tessner and Tom Crawford, all their help. Again, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for yet another season. And John Nakauchi and Michael Myers put that excellent feature together at halftime. Well, we have some time before we start the second half. We thought we'd take a look at some of the leagues and how they've restructured for the 1991 season. Everybody's changed, just about every single league in Central Ohio. Let's start with the City League. You can see Northland South and Walnut Ridge moved to the blue. Then you've got East, Brookhaven, and Independence now in the red. Those teams flip-flop. That's the way the City League will look in football. That's just for football for the 91 campaign. We move on now to the Mid-State League, and there's the changes there. A few additional teams with the disbanding of the CBL and the Licking County League. Amanda Clear Creek and Bloom Carroll. Ooh, there are going to be some interesting games there. And we'll have Canal Winchester taking on Bloom Carroll later this year. The Central Catholic League. It was the Central Catholic League, then the Ohio Catholic League. Now it's the Central Catholic League again. The Dayton teams are gone. Newark Catholic is added to the Gold Division. That should make for some interesting matchups. In fact, Newark Catholic plays Hartley in week number 4. The Buckeye Athletic Conference, a new league that's been founded. Tom, some interesting teams there and some great matchups.
I'll say, Randy, you see a couple teams that are building tradition like Olentangy. Big Walnut had a great team last year. Bexley's been tough up and down.
We'll see Bexley and Olentangy later on this season. Then the Mid-Ohio League. There you go. We're really stretching to the far edges of Central Ohio there for those teams. We'll move on now to the Ohio Capital Conference. And first we'll see the Mid-Buckeye League. There's Centerburg, Danville, East Knox, Lucas, Northridge, and Worthington Christian. We will see Centerburg later this season against New Albany. In fact, next week, yeah. And there's the OCC. It's now in 3 divisions, 20 teams. In the Ohio, you've got Gahanna, Groveport, Dublin, Westland, South, and Thomas Worthington. That's the big school. The medium division is now the Central. At Chillicothe, Grove City, Hilliard, Upper Arlington, and the like. And the Capital Division adds Marysville and Watkins Memorial. That OCC already was probably one of the premier conferences in the state. It gets even better now with the addition of those teams. And Scott Moon, this guy is very demonstrative on the sidelines, isn't he?
He's a very inspirational young man, and I think Beechcroft realizes that because of that big score at the end of the half, they're going to have to pick up that tempo again, or they're going to find themselves tied.
Let's talk about this. What did you say if you were Bob Jacoby at halftime? Stallions trailing by 7 points.
Well, I think he had a lot to be disappointed in as far as ball control and stopping the wide plays on the option. So But with that last drive, I think he pushed on their confidence to realize that they can score, you know, on any given time if they just drive the ball hard.
Ryan Frank and Magistrelli back deep now for the Stallions, going from left to right. Desales in purple and white, waiting the kick of Mr. McCarter. This will be Magistrelli all the way up to near the 16-yard line, up across the 20, the 25, up across the 30-yard line. In fact, he is all the way up to the 37-yard line, where the Stallions will take over on offense. First down and 10.
Larry Thomas, the first one down again, but he didn't make the tackle this time.
Take a look at first half stats when we get the chance. 14-7. There's a score with Beechcroft leading here as we start quarter number 3. The men to watch for in the backfield: Brian Emmerling, the quarterback; Nick Magistrelli is one of the running backs; Andy Merlani, and also we can see Craig Ness in there at one of the running backs. In fact, Ness will start second half. The flanker is Doug Sauer. First and 10 from the 38-yard line is where they mark it officially. Emmerling keeps it out across the 40, all the way up to the 43-yard line. A gain of over 5 on the play.
Great first down play, and of course this is real important, this first drive of the second half. Left tackle Joe Barlow did a nice job blocking his man, because Beechcroft basically plays a goal line defense no matter where they are on the field.
Numbers in the first half, you can see the Cougars with the bulge. They're nearly 3-1. Penalties, 4, all on Beechcroft in the first half. That reflects the score. Second down and 4, back to live action. Off the left side, that is Magistrelli spinning, twirling, and getting all the way up to near the 48-yard line and very close to a Stallion first down. Bob Jacoby and the staff along the far sideline are really pumped right now.
They should be. Nice run. He broke a tackle, ran right through an arm tackle, lunged after he did get hit, and got just enough for that initial first down.
In the first half, Magistrelli 10 carries, 34 yards. Ness 4 for 27 for the Cougars. Swearengin was the leader, 10 for 46. Harris had 5 for 24. And Sharp 6 for 23. First and 10 officially from the 48-yard line. Backs are split. Brian Emmerling, the junior quarterback, hands off to the first man through, and he has stood up right at the line of scrimmage. That is Magistrelli. There is Mr. Moon again.
Yes, nice job of defense. Mr. Moon got a lot of the credit on that one, but I'd also have to give an assist to Tyrone Harrison, who was down underneath.
Let's go, Johnson!
Tyrone Harrison, number 44, the middle linebacker.
You'll see on the replay there's really nowhere to go.
10-18 left to go in quarter number 3. Let's call it second and 9 from the 49. Long count. Emmerling is looking downfield. The pass is tipped and incomplete. I tell you, a saving finger put up there by Tony Minifield.
And Minifield, although it lists him at 6 foot, I don't think he's even close to the height of Finkel. He did a great job of getting up there and batting that ball down.
Luke Finkel was open on that play. Take a look at this one more time.
You'll see the play-action pass, the one that Beechcroft scored a touchdown on. Desales tries to come back with it, and boy, it's almost a big touchdown for them.
Unofficially, that's the first passing attempt. I think that's the second passing attempt by the Stallions in this contest. Sharp was 4 out of 4 in the first half for 37 yards and a touchdown. That is Magistrelli. Nick off the left side gets it down to the Cougar 46-yard line.
Interesting call on 3rd and long, Randy. I think Desales tried to cross Beechcroft up with a counter trap and got good yardage, but not enough, and I think they're going to force him into punt formation. And I imagine if I was Beechcroft, I'd be yelling, watch the shift.
I was going to say, do you try to draw him off one more time?
I think anytime you're within 5 yards, it's a smart move. There's no need to do it if you're still going to punt.
Big Tom Dunlap yelled just that. There he is, right next to his mentor there, Andy Powell. Those guys are a living legacy there. And Finkel gets hit, and he gets the kick off. We were talking about the hands. That time he was tested. Boy, Luke took a shot, and the ball gets across midfield, but not much further than that. We'll take a look at that one more time.
You'll see on the replay that he gets hit, but the ball may have been tapped, because once the ball's touched, you see it rolled a little bit different. And that's why you're allowed to run into the kick.
And the clock is still running. Did the ball go out of bounds?
Yes. Now it's stopped.
Now we have an official's timeout. I think they'll have to reset the clock, won't they?
Well, they could, but
yep. We'll start it right here. The ball rests just across the 40-yard line. Off the left side, the Cougars advance it up to the 46-yard line. As on the carry is number 25, Sean Harris. In the backfield for the Cougars In the second half, the quarterback, Philando Sharp. Mark Hairston is the fullback. Left halfback, Mark Swearingen. Right halfback is Sean Harris. Watch for those guys. Swearingen carried the ball a lot in the first half, and Philando Sharp really had nearly a flawless first half. 2nd and 4 now for the Cougars. Short gain right up the middle, setting up a 3rd down situation.
And right up the middle it is, and they've had their success not only on the outside but up the middle behind that predominantly senior line with Bowman, Coulter, Merrick, Ruffin, and of course the only junior is that big 300-pounder Gene Martin.
Sean Harris on the carry again that time. Of course, Martin's a little ouchy right now. He's not seeing a lot of time out there, sharing time with Mike Morris. Gene Martin goes 6'2", 305 pounds though. Beechcroft, a lot of size out there. It's an incredible team that they've put together. Off the right side, the Cougars into Stallion territory. That is Mark Swearingen on the carry, enough for a 1st down and over that right side, Tom McDonald.
There you go, right behind Big Gene.
I tell you what, though, it's amazing what they've done. You know, some people say the City League teams have a tough time putting together a football program. You would not know it from schools like Beechcroft, Brookhaven, and Briggs, the B schools especially. Tom Dunlap has just an outstanding and excellent weight training program for these guys here at Beechcroft High School. And these guys are strong and pumped and ready to go. And a couple of these guys even want to be bodybuilders after their football careers are over.
How true. The City League is definitely underrated, and it always has been, and I don't really understand the reason for it. They put some strict academic requirements,
yes,
in addition to their transportation, should I say, problems, or organizational problems anyway. And really, it's a tribute to just about every city school that they are so competitive.
1st down with 7:45 left to go in quarter number 3. Off the right side, it looks like it's Greathouse on the carry.
And he kept pumping those legs, and that line kept surging, and they got a nice 4 or 5 yard gain on 1st down.
We talked about that in the first half. That's what really helped out the Cougars. They were able to make it 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3 in the first half.
Yeah, what you have to try to do in that situation normally is to, when you're outweighed, is to rely on your quickness and slant a little bit. But really, with that veer offense, you can't hardly do anything but read your keys.
Officially, let's call it 2nd and 5 with 7:10 left to go in quarter number 3. Off the left side, there's a big gain for Sean Harris. Sean Harris all the way down across the 35-yard line. I'll mark him down right at the 35. That's where his knee touched, but good enough for another Cougar 1st down.
Quick feet, and you'll see on the replay the counteraction of the quarterback holds the linebackers. Nice run by the back of hugging the lane, breaking to the outside. It was a touchdown-saving tackle.
By Jim Hassey, the outside linebacker. 1st and 10 with 6:51 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. 3 backs in the backfield behind Philando Sharp. He keeps it this time, fakes the pitch, turns it inside, a short gain on the play. Guy that kept him honest that time was number 40, Brian Valentine.
Sure did a nice job there, and Desales appears to be in a 2-deep secondary, but I'm not so sure they are, because it seems like the short man is running with the split end, and actually they're covering the split end, which they hardly ever throw to, with 2 men.
Ironically, the methodical pace of this drive kind of reminds me of the Stallions when they have the football. A gain of 2. Let's call it 2nd down and 8. Sharp looking. He's got a man open. He throws downfield. The pass is complete. Down to Swearingen. What a pass by Sharp.
Sure was.
I'll tell you what, I got to tell you something. I don't care what Frankie Wilson did last year. They have a quarterback this season. Forget about the pass.
They sure do, and I think the receiver came out of the backfield on that one, where the tight end went right out to the flat, and they snuck the receiver into the flat, Swearingen, and it was a perfect pitch catch.
Initially, Tom Cochran, the tight end, was open as well, but then Lando waited and found Swearingen open further downfield, so it's a 1st down now. And flags fly with 5:51 left to go.
Quarterback was trying to yell something to communicate to the wide receiver, and what happened was must have been on the 1st count. You have to be careful when it's on the 1st sound. I think the left side of the line moved. You'll see on the replay that the tight end went out to the flat, and right behind him went old number 19 there, Mark Swearingen.
And encroachment is the call on the Cougars, so we'll march it back 5. It'll be 1st and 15 with 5:50 left to go. Cougars lead 14-7, and they are driving. The ball rests at the 22-yard line. That is Harris, and he is going nowhere. Standing him up at the line of scrimmage was Tim Dardinger, 6'2", 230-pound senior.
Excellent job. You talk about wrapping up a ball carrier. That's the definition right there. Nice defense.
I'll tell you, Dardinger did a great job. Here's a guy who's a first-year starter, likes math and working on cars. Took care of the engine right there, Mr. Harris.
Sure did. I think the back may have hit the hole a little bit too tight because the offensive line was blocking Swearingen down to the inside.
Right at the line of scrimmage. Let's call it 2nd and 15. Sharp takes it down the line, keeps it himself. Tucks it inside, short gain on the play.
Very short. Looked like Randy Connolly did a nice job, 6'3", defensive end or outside linebacker, whatever you want to call him, stretching that play to the outside.
Gets it down to the 20-yard line, a gain of 2. It's going to set up the 3rd and 13. Well, we've seen that pop pass to the tight end. We've seen him go to the flat. What do you call on the 3rd and 13?
Well, I think they like to roll to their right, and they might try to hit number 82 on an, I was going to say an out route, but he's got a pretty wide split, so I want to change that. I think they might go to the tight end after all.
All right, we'll see with 4:32 left to go.
Or a curl by the wide man.
I'll never question you. Tight end is open.
There's a curl by the wide man.
And there it is to Johnston.
Yes.
Eric Johnston has it, but it is not enough for a first down.
But it was a heck of a play. Good protection. Nice pass.
Take a look at this one more time.
You'll see on the replay as the quarterback drops back. Tight end goes out to the flat. He steps in, fires a perfect strike right in the numbers. The receiver was smart enough to make the catch. 4th and about 4. I don't know, with a 7-point lead and a good kicker, but the ball's on the hash, so I can see why they would be going for it with probably some wide play, but I think they might want to think about it.
And now the Cougars take a timeout. I was wondering if you might not try to draw the Stallions offside like Desales did in the first half.
I'll tell you, turnabout's fair play, and it's not a bad idea.
There's a guy who is a real leader there in Philando Sharp. 5'9", 170, and a senior. So he said he was a running back last year. Took less than 20 snaps as a quarterback during the regular season because Frankie Wilson played in so many games, and it was not because Beechcroft was running up the score. They had some tough ball games last year. And so Philando didn't see a lot of snaps, and, you know, he got the call from Tom Dunlap and said, would you like to be quarterback? And he did not hesitate.
Here's a ball, go throw.
That's right. I'm telling you, this guy's been very, very impressive. And you were talking about the City League. I tell you what, they are a powerhouse. You look at Brookhaven, who DeSales defeated last week. You look at Briggs, and if Eastmore is on the rebound and has another great year, there are a lot of teams that could really contend. How good is Independence this season?
Independence is down a little bit, but they have an excellent coaching staff, and of course they're in the bigger division now.
Right.
But I look for them to surprise some people.
Here we go on a 4th down and 3 from just inside the 10-yard line. Sharp keeps it. And a tackle on the far side of the field is close to the 7-yard line, and the Stallions say that they have held on 4th down.
Boy, if they don't, I'll be surprised. Jim Hassey penetrated. He's only 5'6". He knifed in. He may not have made the initial, or he may not have made the tackle, but he did make the initial hit, and he actually stopped that play.
As you look at Luke Fickle and company and the Stallion fans along the far side of the field, they are happy right now. DeSales bends big time, but they do not break.
Boy, they should be happy. That was very crucial. Once again, I want to give credit to Jim Hassey, the old 5'6" senior.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for DeSales, just past the 7-yard line. Emmerling on the pitch to Magistrelli. Boy, that fooled everybody. Magistrelli, big opening around the corner up to the 30. Kind of a dangerous pitch to be performing inside your 10-yard line. It took everyone by surprise.
It sure did, including me. I'll tell you, Coach Jacoby has got a lot of guts. To call that pitch down there near your own goal line, you'll see the first phase, the second phase, and then the pitch. Got the ball in the wrong arm, but when he's big and strong like that, you can get away with that. Excellent call, excellent execution of the triple option.
Knocked out of bounds by Sean Harris. 1st and 10 from the 28. 3.5 left to go. The Stallions have the ball, and they're trailing by 7. Backs are split in Ness and Morlani behind Brian Emmerling. Handoff goes inside. Still on his feet is Ness. Short gain. But check out the situation of Nick Magistrelli along the far sideline.
Yeah, they can't afford to be without him, but this Ness is a young man that really hasn't, I don't believe, saw much action in the first game as a running back. He's doing a nice job tonight.
Nick is still down along the far side of the field. There's a player down. I assume it's him around the 23-yard line being attended to. There you can see the huddle right now. of trainers and medical attendants checking on a player. And I do not see Magistrelli in there, so we'll assume that is Nick, the one who is down right now. Second down and 7, the ball at the 31, 2:55 left to go here in the third quarter. That is Ness again off the left side, and that really puts a real crimp into the Stallion offense here. What do you do in a third down situation?
It sure does, but they've got Andy Merlani in there, and he's a very gutsy young man who played defense last year as a starter, and of course is starting this year. And I was able to talk to his father practice this week, and you know, he's confident in his son as well as all the running backs for Desales.
Some great tradition at Desales High School. We're talking about Merlani, one name. Semeraro is another name. Holy cow, let's see. Paul, Rich, Mike, and John all played at Desales. Third down and 4. Do they put it up? Emmerling on the option. Keeps it. Tucks it. And I'll tell you what, just bulls his way out there and has enough for a first down. It looked like he carried Tony Minifield for an extra yard or so.
Yes, it really did. I see the flag down, and this is going to be a critical call.
Wait for the call from Barry Brinkman. Oh. Holding on the Stallions with the ball just around the 40-yard line. It would have been enough for a first down.
Take it back.
And still attending to someone on the far sideline. You know, when Sean Harris hit Magistrelli along the far sideline, kind of looked like he got it in the knee. I can't be certain unless we have that replay, but
he's
I
up.
Assume that
he's up, Randy.
Is that him up now? He is now up. You're right. Take a look at this one more time.
You'll see on the replay. Nice execution, but there was a hold in there somewhere, and the alert officials caught it, and it's a big break. 3rd and 10, they're going to have to go the air.
And good news, Magistrelli back into the ball game. Marlani comes out, so Nick is close to 100% at least, and checks into the ball game. And also checking in is number 12. There's Doug Sauer. He goes wide at the bottom of the formation to the top. Shane Mager.
I don't believe Fickle's caught a pass tonight, has he, Randy?
Nope. It was Ness on the carry for a very short game. That's going to set up a punting situation for Desales.
He's shaking up too, Randy.
Yep.
The running backs are getting severe pounding here. It was a draw play and almost caught Beechcroft off guard, but they penetrate so quickly that they diagnosed that play excellently.
Craig is down and being attended to right now with 1:35 left to go here in quarter number 3. Beechcroft leading by 7. An exciting contest. Kind of the game we expected, a close game, maybe 21-14, that type of contest, despite the fact that in 4 of the past 5 games, the losing team, which was the home team, scored only 6 points. Next week, this could be an interesting contest because both of these teams have really turned it around. Centerburg taking on New Albany next week. New Albany 1-0, Centerburg 1-0. That game's coming up next weekend on Coaxial Communications and All-American Cablevision as well. That Coaxial crew, they do a great job on those games. I'll tell you something. Coaxial, the premier cable company in Central Ohio, producing local origination sports. No one can touch them. They're the MC Hammer of local origination. You realize that, don't you? Fickle with a punt.
Much better execution this time.
There's your basic high 30-yard punt. Fortunately, takes a Stallion bounce one way and then back the Cougar way, and then one finally back the Stallion way, and the ball will be down just across the 40-yard line, up and around the 44.
In come the beanbags. You know, Randy, you have to be careful. Once a ball is touched like that, there is no risk of a fumble regarding the receiving team. They can try to pick that ball up and run with it. Once you down a punt, you must hold on to that ball.
See if they mark it at the 44 on the other side of the stick. They'll mark it on the other side, so mark it up just past the 46. It'll be first down and 10 from there. With 1:10 left to go, just a reminder, if you enjoy sports on cable TV, we would love to hear from you. There's the address. Coaxial Communications, 3770 East Livingston Avenue, Columbus, 43227. Listen, it's simple. We do these games for you. We need to hear from you. If you enjoy high school sports, you wrote us a letter a few years ago. Still like to hear from you. How's the family? How are the kids? How's everything going? You have a question, a comment, a game you'd like to see, let us know.
See that interesting headgear by the young man?
That's Dave McCarter. For the game he's played, he can wear anything he wants to.
Yes.
And I'll call him Mr.
Monk.
That's right. First and 10 from just past the 46. 1:07 left to go, quarter number 3. Johnston wide to the bottom of the formation. Sharp on the keeper. Philando all the way down to the 46-yard line. It looked like he was going to go down at the 49, but he kept churning and pushed for 3 extra yards.
It sure did, and part of the reason was that the defensive backs of the Stallions were trying to get the ball out, which I don't blame them. You'll see a nice block by the lead back, number 49, who I was impressed with on that play. That's Harrison.
You're right. Brian Valentine, it looked like, for the Stallions, was trying to strip the football.
He almost got
Mr. Sharp. So it'll be second down and a long two. The ball just across the 45-yard line with 30 seconds left to go in quarter number 3. Backs are split behind Sharp. And off of the first man through, the Cougars will have a first down and be very close to it. I tell you, a guy that's also done a good job tonight for the Stallions defensively is Tim Dardinger. We haven't called his name all the time, but he's been on the bottom of a lot of those stacks and he's really done a good job of plugging things up on the interior of that line.
He sure has, Andy, and Billy Giamarco has also been a tough competitor.
You got that name right on your first try, you know.
Yeah, I was sweating it.
Swearingen on the carry gets it down to across the 43, near the 42. It'll be enough for a first down for the Cougars with 17 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Second man through.
Billy G.
Yep, he was there again.
Along with Carlos Segovia.
Segovia, yep.
Didn't do quite as good on that one.
Yeah, but you tried. Harris gets plowed right at the 41. And we have played 36 of the 48 minutes here at Cougar Stadium. Score remains the same. It is Beechcroft 14, Desales 7. Back with the fourth quarter and perhaps overtime right after this.
Hey, Buckeyes, if you're like me, few things in life are as enjoyable as tailgating in your conversion van. And the only place to accessorize your van or pickup is here at Fun Trail Vans, 3966 Indianola Avenue. Here in the showroom, you'll find everything: custom video equipment, musical beverage coolers, alarm systems, and truck caps. Here's a Fun Trail tip. Ensure even wear of your van seats by having them rotated once a year. Call Fun Trail today. Ask about a conversion tune-up special.
Video Choices, your passport to a world of great entertainment, continues to be bigger and better than ever. Just look at our new expanded grid section with 4 full pages per day. Discover at a glance what's on mornings, afternoons, and evenings. In addition to the Premium Index and the Basic Movie Index, you'll find the codes which are used with a VCR Plus unit to make videotaping your favorite movies and programs easier than ever before. Be sure not to miss the hottest pay-per-view hits on pages 4 and 5. It's all here in your monthly Video Choices Guide, your source for complete cable listings.
We have played 3 quarters here at Cougar Stadium. Beechcroft leads 14-7. Randy Reinhardt, Tom McDonald, and Steve Bassford. Glad to have you aboard. Tom, you go into the fourth quarter with the Cougars. What does Tom Dunlap say to his team?
Let's just keep grinding it out. I'm sure he's cautiously optimistic, but they have been moving the football, and I wouldn't be surprised too soon to see Desales move that safety man up. They're playing guy about 12, 15 yards off the ball, and I think they better stop the run before they worry about the pass.
Second down, just past the 40-yard line. Off the left side, that is Hairston. And Mark with a very short gain. Pursuit is there for Desales, and that time, no less than about 3 guys there for Desales blocking off the corner, setting up a 3rd and long now for the Cougars.
And 2 of them were Adam Conley and Andy Morlani. Great support. They read their keys well. That tight end and came up, and now let's see if they read their keys well when there's a good chance that tight end may release.
Checking out is Hairston. Checking in is Swearingen. Played 30 seconds in the fourth quarter. It is 14-7. Beechcroft, both teams 1-0 on the season. Beechcroft got by Kilbourne last week, 35-0, and it was Desales beating Brookhaven 13-10. Play action. Sharp rolls, looking, throws it long downfield. This could be picked off. Oh, it's tipped away. There was a receiver there, but 2 defenders. They were looking for Minifield downfield on coverage. Mike Ferry in for the Stallions.
Nice toss, and it was good coverage. And actually, upfield, I think his primary receiver was covered by number 22, Jim Hassey. They had a tight end or back dragging all the way from the other side of the field, and Hassey picked him up very efficiently and forced him to go deep, and there was double coverage on the deep man. Good thing they had the 2 men back in that play.
So it is punting time now for Tom Cochran and the Cougars. He stands just past the 50-yard line. Another nice kick by Cochran. Fair catch called for and taken by Mr. Sauer. And a few conversations and collisions take place around the 10-yard line, but it'll be 1st and 10 for Desales to go the length of the field, down by 7 points with less than 11 minutes left to go.
Yes, but they're still within a touchdown and an extra point of tying it up or going ahead, Randy. And I think they have to feel better than they possibly could or should at this time.
The ball will be marked officially just past the 11-yard line. Brian Emmerling is your quarterback for the Stallions. Magistrelli back in along with Ness in the backfield. They are split behind Bryan.
Coach Jacoby called an option down here in the third quarter. Let's see if he was brave enough to go to the outside again.
Nope. They show an option, but they give it to the first man through. It'll be a short gain for the Stallions off the right side.
They sure do, and I'm really impressed with the defense of Beechcroft, but also with the quarterback play of Desales. The young man who's running this team has done a nice job of carrying out his fakes, and I'm real impressed with the way that Emmerling does it.
Brian Emmerling has taken his team to a state championship game. He is not going to get nervous in week number 2. Second down. Motion and a fumble. You know what? I thought we had motion before we had the fumble, but they don't throw the flag, and it's a fumble, and the Cougars have it. The last man coming up with the football is number 45. I'll tell you what, McCarter has had a career tonight.
He sure has. I think I spoke too soon. The quarterback exchange looked like it might be the problem, and of course, that's unfortunate.
Well, I thought I saw motion preceding the snap.
Quite possible.
And I think that threw the entire timing off of that play. So on the turnover, it'll be first down for the Cougars. Take a look one more time. See, you can see the right side moved a little early.
And, well, maybe the center was the one that moved late because the quarterback was moving back, although you're supposed to wait for the field of the football. It's quite possible that the center was a little behind. And
have a timeout. They're going to check the replay right now. Just
there
kidding.
You go.
It's an equipment timeout. Tim Dardinger will leave the field right now, and he's replaced with 10:17 left to go. That's Harris. Sean Harris! Touchdown! Sean Harris takes it in with 10:05 left to go, and now the Cougars lead 20-7. That didn't take long.
Sure didn't, Randy. And you know, you talk about momentum and a swing, the turn, a change of possession. Desales has to be ready to come in. You'll see on the replay, he really hugs the hole tight. Nice lead block by the halfback. A big, big touchdown, and we're going to see the ball in the air a little more from Desales from this fourth. Harris
from 12 yards out, and that's the story here at Beechcroft High School. As Lance Finkel. Well, Finkel kicks it, but we had a flag fly before he nailed that one with 10:05 left to go. We'll sort out this situation.
No play. There was a penalty before the snap of the ball. That's usually an indication of offside against one of the teams.
You called it.
But
5-yard penalty will be encroachment against the Cougars, so move it back.
I don't think the extra 5 yards will really have effect. You'll see on this touchdown run that the right half, or the fullback, does a nice kick out, and the right half just gets the ball and runs right into the end zone.
Tackle was made by Doug Sauer. The bad news, it was in the end zone. Encroachment. March it back now, 5 yards. The extra point will come from the 15, add the 10. He's 25 yards away from the crossbar. Mr. Finkel approaches, kicks, and connects. Well, I'll tell you what, there's only one missing element, I think, for this Beechcroft team right now, perhaps, and that's kicking off, and McCarter has shown a vast improvement over what they had in week number 1, so this Cougar team could have all the elements they need to make a serious run at winning the Red Division and maybe going back to the playoffs again in 91.
Well, I guarantee you they're going to make a serious run, and I don't think anybody on Beechcroft's schedule is looking forward to playing them. They're a dominant football team, but let's not count Desales out yet because they do have tradition, and they still have a lot of time.
10:05 to be exact, trailing by 14 points. And you talked about the fact that you expect maybe the Stallions to put the ball up a little bit more here in the remaining 10 minutes.
I'm concerned about the time that they're going to be given or not given to Emmerling, because really, Beechcroft plays that type of goal line defense where they're man-to-man. They put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and they're going to have to really keep him out. Desales is.
Tom, a reminder of some of the events taking place. Desales High School is having a booster drive. It begins September the 13th. It benefits the athletic department. The homecoming game for Desales is October the 11th with Watterson. The annual appeal will begin soon, starting with a phone-a-thon. Some of the events taking place for Desales High School. So keep an ear open to what's happening in your community and support your area high school. All right? You might not have a kid there yet, but you might sometime soon. I might be finding out about that. You never know.
Hey, I'd like to hear that news.
So would I. Swearingen with 12 carries, 52 yards. Harris 11 for 53. Sharp 10 for 38. Hairston 5 for 15. How about that for balance? For Desales, Magistrelli 15 carries, 66 yards. Ness 7 carries, 34 yards.
Well, trying to find if Larry Thomas is the madman that he's been all night down on those kickoffs.
He has been a killer. Magistrelli returning the ball. Oh, no. Guess what?
You got it.
Larry Thomas, number 33, from behind that time.
Hold on. He caught it, get to that rodeo. Nice grab, Larry, but a good return as well.
Well, bronc busting there by Mr. Thomas makes a stop. I tell you, he should get about 4 Buckeyes for his special teams play.
You're darn right. I'd hate to practice against him, too. 135-pounder. They switch, which is pretty alert on Desales' part because they know they've been trying to kick it towards the sideline. Nice catch. Runs up the field, and you'll see Thomas. Hang on. Lasso him. Okay.
Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. Stallions ready to go. 1st and 10. Emmerling rolls right, looks downfield. The pass is incomplete, overthrown along the far sideline. Looking on the play for Sauer. Coverage by Sean Harris.
And pretty good protection, too, Randy. It was good coverage. You know, it was a good offensive play and good defense. So I think that if they have time to throw the ball, they're going to be able to maybe move it down and get it close.
2nd down and 10 now from the 39. As you check out the crowd here, I'm telling you something, Tom McDonald, we have not had a bad crowd in about the last 5 or 6 games we've done, the last 3 or 4 last year, and the first 2 games this season. 2nd down and 10 from the 39. Maybe they know that you're going to be at the game. Drawing the crowds out. Emmerling looking, plenty of time. As you said, good protection again, but time is running out, and the pass is deflected at the line of scrimmage. Good pressure on the play. Why, it looks like it was number 84, Tom Cochran, who is down on the field right now.
I'm trying to find Fickle in there. Here he comes, back to the huddle. Ran a long way on that one.
I wonder if that pass hit Cochran. The way he went down, it was almost like the football hit him in the chest or something.
Possibly. I saw his head move, so he probably maybe had the wind knocked out of him. He should be up momentarily.
We have a replay of that. Let's take a look one more time. Cochran sticks to Emmerling as he rolls left. So he attend to Tom right now down on the field at around the 33-yard line.
You'll see on the replay, the quarterback designed to drop back, sent both backs out of the backfield. He's going to have to scramble a little bit, but he does have 5 men in the pattern. You'll see a nice defense.
You know what? He also got a helmet to the chest, too.
I think that might be the more serious.
The helmet of the quarterback, Brian Emmerling. So they're making sure he takes his time before he gets up. Take a look at this one more time. We'll put you ground level. Watch for number 84 in goal to be coming into your screen right here. Yep. See, as he pulls Emmerling down, Emmerling comes down on top of him, and he gets a helmet and an elbow.
Right, and probably 6 or 7 times out of 10, the quarterback's the one that gets injured on something like that. With his follow-through, hitting his fingers on the helmet.
And Tom, what position did you play again in college? People want to know.
I'm sure they do. I played free safety or...
So you did that a lot, didn't you? And they're banging the quarterback all the time, hitting him hard, hitting him late.
Only on blitzes, Randy. And Don James, who's out at the University of Washington, called a few. 60 Mac Dog was the one I remember the best.
And what fine institution was that?
That was Kent State Beloved University.
Hey, Mike Gleason, you weekend dog you from WBNS 10 TV.
There he is.
You see Mike, you remember, he was the voice of the Horizon this past season on Coaxial. And, of course, check the Horizon out again this season. Vince Ciccarella, the new head coach. And there's a guy that's got ties to DeSales High School. Of course, he led the Stallions to a state championship.
He's led a few people to several championships. He's a good man, and I think the Horizon's in for a great season.
Playing down there with some local flavor to their team, Mr. Stevens from Columbus South. And, you know, they were trying to pick up James Bradley, the former Otterbein and Beechcroft star, if I might tie this to yet another one of the schools here.
Go.
But he was picked up one player before the Horizon tried to draft him. But who knows if James Bradley might still get a chance to play in Central Ohio for the Horizon. That would be a big move for that basketball program. As conversation is taking place right now, Tom Dunlap, the head coach on your right, just turned 40 yesterday. Natalie attired. He looks like he's going to a play or something after this game, isn't he?
Well, it's quite possible, but I have a feeling he's going to do what most coaches do on Friday nights. Head home, get the videotape, critique it, try to get some sleep, get up Saturday morning, bright and early, 6 a.m., and worry about the next opponent.
Maybe as a VCR Plus, and he'll watch it on Coaxial Channel 36. He lives in the cable area. I'm sure he watches the games and scouts not only his opponents, but other strong teams in Central Ohio in Division II, where the Cougars find themselves. 3rd and 10 now for the Stallions. 9:37 left to go. Emmerling pressures on, gets away, looks, he's throwing it long. Sauer makes a great adjustment to the football. at the 38-yard line. I got to tell you something. Doug Sauer made about 2 moves after that ball was thrown and then just loosely came back to the football and made a really sensational catch, make it really look easy.
Sure did, and he was pressured. Emmerling stood right in there and made a nice pass, too.
That was Warren Ball going for the hit. Still Sauer coming down with the football, so it'll be first down and 10. And now Desales is 2 out of 7 in third down conversions. 9:24 left to go. I guesstimate that the ball is at about a 38-yard line. The yard markers are down, some of them on the far side of the field. Sauer in motion. That is Magistrelli off the left side. There is nothing there for Nick.
Boy, you can hear the pop in the helmets. I think the first man on that one was Tyrone Harrison, number 44. You'll see they tried to mix him up with a counter dive. And here he comes and pop. Good hit, Tyrone.
So many great linebackers, Beechcroft, over the year. And you remember, you know, just even last year, John Cross, what a player he was. And Albert Diggs, who played outside linebacker for the Cougars last year. And he had a career against Desales just last season alone in their contest. So mark it back at the original line of scrimmage. Let's call it second down and 10. 8:37 left to go. Stallions have the ball, but they're trailing by 14. Emmerling looking right, pressure, backside. He's looking for Fickle. Yes, Luke has the ball inside the 20-yard line. Minifield on the coverage, but Fickle was wide open.
Great job. The tight end ran to the flat and then turned it up with the wide receiver curling in, and it was just a jumping match, and you know who's going to come down with that football. You'll see a play-action pass, goes up for the ball, excellent concentration.
Mark the ball officially just past the 16. It'll be first and 10 from there. Fickle at 6'4½", a great wrestler, a great football player, and a 3-year starter. Just over 8 minutes left to go. Emmerling rolling right, looking again, throwing it up for Sauer. Does he pull it down? Oh, no, they say out of the end zone.
He caught that ball, though, Randy.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Sauer is something else. You know, you think of Luxo last year, a great wide receiver they had, and Sauer carrying on that tradition for the Stallions.
They've got a couple great ones. I'm impressed with the line, the way they're giving Emmerling protection. You'll see he's got plenty of time, airs it deep.
And look at that. He threw that the only place where it could possibly be completed.
I'll tell you, looked like there was a little bit of
pushing
pylon on that, too. Not piling on,
pylon. I got it.
The orange thing.
Second down and 10 from the 16-yard line.
Okay.
Emmerling straight back, pressure's on, throws it to Fickle. Oh! What a play, and Fickle takes it in. I tell you something, easily, if this was pro football last season, they could have called in the grass, but Emmerling gets the pass off to Fickle. It turns out to be a 16-yard touchdown play. That is nothing more than determination by Emmerling, the quarterback, and Fickle, the tight end. We'll put you ground level. Just watch this play.
You'll see a blitz from the outside linebacker, Swearingen, and he just threw it. Looked like he was grounding it. Oh, and Fickle, what a man. What a man.
A man playing among boys.
Well, I don't know about that.
Oh, at 6'4", this guy wrestled the Soviet team when they were here. He was leading that match with the Soviet.
Oh, Randy, they're going
for two off the left side, and they do it. We told you about this. They take it in for the 2-point conversion. Now, if they score again, this could be very, very important, as the Stallions make it now 21-15 as Carlos Segovia takes it in.
Okay, we called it the muddle huddle at Groveport. I imagine they call it the same thing. You'll see the center snap that ball, which is an excellent snap. He just gets a wedge blocking and runs to the outside. That's a 2-point conversion.
The only guy who had a chance to stop him at all was Scott Moon, coming in from a diagonal like that. What a snap. And Segovia takes it in, is now 21-15. Let's finish the point on Fickle. Fickle was wrestling against that Russian national team that came here. Fickle broke his ankle in the third quarter. He was leading in that match, but you have to continue the match. So he continued wrestling with a broken ankle and lost by 2 points.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, that showed it there. His ankle's fine. He just used it to bowl over a defender.
Take a look at this one more time. This is the touchdown. Watch Fickle. There he is. See him? He says, I'm open. I've got it.
Throw me that ball and let me ramble. And I'm in.
The ankle looks fine, thank you. And with a 2-point conversion by Segovia, now it's only a 6-point contest at 21-15 with 7:50 left to go.
That's great. Great strategy, and boy, it's going to call for an exciting 7 minutes and 50 seconds.
That drive was 7 plays, 61 yards, took 2:08 off the clock. Fickle catching that 16-yard touchdown pass from Emmerling. Segovia taking it in for 2, and we stand at 21-15.
7 minutes, you're right in that borderline. Do we try an onside kick or not? And I hear Beechcroft coaches yelling, move up. But I actually feel that they're going to try another squib kick, keep it away from the 2 deep men. But I don't think they're going to really try an onside kick.
7:50 is a lifetime. Unofficially, I have the Stallions with their full allotment of 3 timeouts in the second half. The Cougars have 2.
I'm sure they're not going to kick it to where those 2 guys are standing. They better move up.
I don't know. Watch the Stallions. They'll try to go for 2 right here.
Tony Minifield, you better move up about 20 yards.
Tony Minifield is standing back inside the 10-yard line. They kick it high and not too long. It's fielded along the far side of the field by Minifield at the 16, up across the 20, and just really finds a nice little path up to the 26-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars.
We have a pump Desales football team.
Yep.
But once again, you talk about tradition on both sides of the football. I don't think Beechcroft's pushed the panic button by any means.
The kicking game could be a factor in this contest. We'll see what happens. 21-15 the score, 7:47 left to go. Offense, the cheer on the near sidelines. Defense by the Stallion fans along the far side. Both sides are filled with respective fans right now. Nobody has left this contest. 7:43 and running. That is Johnston wide to the bottom of the formation. 3 backs in the backfield. Handoff goes to the second man through. And a short gain on the play. Looks like it could be Sean Harris.
Very short gain. That was the one they scored the touchdown on, their last touchdown on, but it was much better defense this time.
As you look at Tom Dunlap, looking to go 2-0 on the season. Andy Powell on the right, former head coach. I'll take either one of those guys as my head coach in the football program. Or you. I've got 3 great ones right here. Second down, let's call it just about 9. Sharp rolls right, cuts it inside. Very short gain on the play. Nice play defensively by the Stallions by number 52, Jim Mangini. Here's a guy who is fighting mononucleosis. He was a question mark, and he is playing. And now we have a Cougar down on the play, number 70, Gene Martin.
You'll see on the replay that Tom Dardinger, number 77, is also in there on that play. Nice defense. And for a 6'2", 230-pound senior, I think this guy has college potential. He's a big kid that can move.
Martin is coming off the field. This is the guy I was telling you about that had the tender ankle to start the contest. That's why we didn't see him in the first quarter. We saw Mike Morris. And Martin came in and played some in the second quarter and the second half, but you can see that ankle is giving him problems one more time, so he'll leave. And coming back in is Mike Morris.
Big 3rd down here, Randy. 3rd and 6. You could run it the way they've been running or maybe air it out. Last time they were in a 3rd and long and they threw the football.
Let's see what happens. 3 backs in the backfield. He's rolling left. He's looking. He's passing. He's throwing it incomplete to Minifield. It's 4th down with 6:43 left to go, and it's punting time.
Good pressure put on the quarterback by Adam Conley, 6'2" junior. Forced that pass to be thrown. The quarterback was unable to break contain.
One of the strengths of the game for the Cougars has been the punting efforts of Tom Cochran. He will be tested again with 6:43 left to go.
And if he punts it too far, Magistrelli's back there, and you don't want him to get the ball in the open field.
Nope. Timeout is taken by Beechcroft. Now, unofficially, that's their second. They have 1 left. The Stallions with their full allotment of 3.
Interesting call here. They look a little tired, and his punt team is going to have to get down there and cover this football because it's usually been a great punt. So I think they want to give them a little rest and try to pump the team up, saying, hey, we're still ahead. All we have to do is hold them, and we got the ball game.
In case we run out of time near the end of this contest and things get too hairy, last week we made our picks. You picked the game out west. You picked the Bengals to win against the Broncos. I picked the Broncos. The Browns and the Cowboys, I picked the Browns. You picked the Cowboys. Hey, they've got our records. We're 1-1.
Shoot.
Look at that. We are 1-1.
Oh, if I'd have known that.
Although I was closer when I picked the Browns because the Bengals got blown out by more points.
Come on, Sam.
All right, this week, New England hosts Cleveland. Cleveland taking on New England. New England has a better record. I can't stand this. Who do you take?
I go with Nick Saban's Browns.
I go with the Dogs, too. Cincinnati and Houston.
No doubt, Cincinnati all over them.
I go with the Bengals, too. We're not going to break this tie. There's a snap. It's a good one. Decent pressure.
How could you go with the Bengals?
How could I? Why not?
Oh.
Magistrelli opted not to pick up the football. It rolls inside the 30. It will be down near the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Stallions. 72 yards away with 6:32 left to go.
Let's see if Beechcroft stays in that tight 6'2" defense with man-to-man coverage and good pressure. it'll boil right down to the offensive line of Desales and the defensive front and linebackers of Beechcroft.
Finally, Ohio State taking on Arizona. We are taping this on Friday night. Your thoughts on that contest? This one doesn't count. This is the tiebreaker.
Oh, this is the tiebreaker? Well, I'm definitely going to go with Coach Cooper and the Buckeyes.
I will go with Coach Cooper. I will say 28-20 Buckeyes.
That's interesting because there's something about 8-point spread in the paper I read.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
I don't read that stuff. Magistrale takes it right up the gut. A very short gain as Beechcroft now tightens up on the inside. I do not read that stuff. I don't.
Okay, I believe you. Tyrone Harrison in there like he has been most of the night. I think it was a good call. A lot of people would say, why don't you throw that ball, throw that ball? Well, you got to keep him honest, and you still have plenty of time, not only for this drive, but maybe one other one.
By the way, you want to borrow that newspaper now? Gain of 1 on the play. Let's call it 2nd and 9 from the 29, 5:52 and running. Desales has the ball, but they are trailing. Wide to the bottom of the formation is Christian Volpe. To the top, it's Sauer. Backs are split behind Emmerling. Long count. Straight back. Pressure's on from Swearingen. He looks downfield. He overthrows Volpe just across midfield. Coverage on the play for the Cougars by number 42, Warren Ball.
Boy, it's great to have speed. And, you know, Beechcroft's relying on that man-to-man defense with no help in the middle. If they could connect on one of those, it'd probably be 6 points. Ball did a nice job, and really, there's no one there to help him.
Volpe was a guy who was looking to celebrate early. He turned 17 on Monday. So it's going to be 3rd and 9 now with the ball resting at the 29 with 5:35 left to go.
You know, they haven't used a screen yet. They did try the draw one time. Screen on 3rd and long, though, isn't normally the situation.
You don't see a screen very much in high school football, though, at all. Not like you do in the college game or in the pro game. Something we called for a lot in the past. Emmerling.
Well, how's that for a
Oh, boy, it looked like they were going to try to set one up. The pass goes upfield to Fickle. There's some contact, no flag. You know what? It looked like they were setting up the screen to the bottom of the field here to Ness, didn't it?
They were, and there was probably an ineligible man. But, yes, and the quarterback alertly read that Beechcroft predicted it also, and then they covered it pretty well.
So instead, he looks upfield for Luke Fickle.
You'll see
throws
the
him into
lines.
double coverage here.
All right. And he just aired it out to their basically decoy receiver, and Fickle broke that interception up.
Do you indeed kick the ball right now?
Oh, yes.
All right.
Make him field it. Oh, but there's a wide man out.
That's Shane Mauger to the top of the formation. We'll check that out. Fickle. Back to punt. Foot touches the football. And that one will go out of bounds.
Boy, that's too bad. After that hit, that ball rolled 15 yards. Big break for the Cougars, and all they have to do is run out the clock.
Mark that ball somewhere around the 44-yard line in Cougar territory. 1st and 10 with 5:23 left to go, and the Cougars leading. Now, the situation is this, Tom. You have no timeouts taken if you're Desales. You've got your full allotment of 3, which you see a Cougar being attended to right now. In this series, perhaps, do you start thinking about using those timeouts?
Well, I think I would probably wait for 1 first down. If I can hold them in 3 plays, I'd like to keep my timeouts for when I have it on offense, but definitely if they get 1 more first down, you have to go to your timeouts.
Desales 1-0 on the season with a win over Brookhaven 13-10. What a season they had last year. It all started off with that overtime victory over Brookhaven 14-8. And they defeated Beechcroft 18-6, beat Logan 42-zip, Dayton and Chaminade Julien by a score of 28-6, Gallia Academy 42-zip, lost to Dayton Dunbar 18-17. Then they beat Watterson 26-0. They beat Akron St. Vincent St. Mary on cable 17-6, Kettering Alder 31-0, St. Charles 21-7, and on to the playoffs where they made it all the way to the Division II state championship game. For Beechcroft last season, well, they defeated Marion Harding 28-6. We told you what happened with the Desales contest. They lost to Brookhaven in a wild one, 48-28, beat Mifflin 12-0, got by Eastmore 24-18 in overtime, defeated South 22-6, got by Northland 35-7, lost to Cincinnati Xavier 21-zip, beat West 21-7, got by Walnut Ridge 23-6 to end the regular season before losing to Briggs in the playoffs.
Yes, and we have an injured Cougar down about the 25-yard line. I think he's going to be okay, but they are tending to him. That's holding up play.
And Tom, let me ask you something. You had a chance to see some of the scores from week number 1. Anything surprise you? I was kind of surprised to see Worthington now with 2 high schools, and they still didn't win a game last weekend.
Well, I wasn't surprised. They have some outstanding coaches, but when you have to split up the talent between one school, it's going to take a little bit of time to build it, but I believe they hired 2 outstanding people who will build it. I was impressed with the way Hilliard rolled, and Pickerington did a real nice job.
Over Thomas Worthington.
Over Thomas Worthington. Of course, Groveport won.
And what was that score, Tom?
Well, it was close, but you don't want to run up the score so early in the year.
What was the score, Tom?
It was 14-7, I believe.
All right. All righty. I have to fight and get that out of him. I'm telling you. This is our location high atop Cougar Stadium. Randy Reinhardt, Tom McDonald. Steve, where are you hiding? Come on over here, Steve. Steve's in the other window there. See him in the green?
You can tell it's getting slow when you're picturing us.
Glad to have you aboard for week number 2 of high school football action here on cable TV. As the player is up on his feet right now, that is Jason Spicer coming off the field. Jason is one of the starting defensive ends. Now Tom is doing a 2-person wave up here with me in the press box. I don't think it's going to be contagious, though.
Come on, Jason. Hang tough, buddy.
Don't do that tomorrow at the Ohio State game. No cheering is allowed in the press box.
Is that right?
Yes. Of course not. Can't cheer in the press box.
Not even for Ohio State?
No.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Professional press box, young man.
Taking that job.
1st and 10, just past the 44. On the sneak, Sharp takes it across the 45, up to the 47. Interesting call on first down.
Well, they had time to design a play that they thought would be effective, about 5 or 6 minutes, and what they come up with?
Quarterback sneak.
Quarterback sneak, and with that quarterback, I don't blame him.
Yep, gain of 3 on the play up to the 47. Let's call it 2nd and 7. 5:07 left to go. Desales watching the offense of the Cougars at the corner of their eye. You see the clock ticking down, under 5 minutes left to go in this contest. Backs are split. Johnson to the top. Sharp down the line, around the right side, maybe up to the 49-yard line. Give him 2 more on the play, setting up a 3rd and 5.
Nothing much there. Great wall of defenders by Desales. There was no seams in that particular defense. You know, interesting, they're both option teams. You think Beechcroft might be a little bit more prone to pitch the ball, but I kind of see where they're very smart. They don't want to put the ball on the ground unless they have to.
Sean Harris in with the play now from Tom Dunlap on a 3rd down. Let's call it 5. 4:22 left to go. Handoff right up the middle. A big first down run for the Cougars all the way down to the 40-yard line. Looks like it's Sean Harris on the carry.
It sure does. An incredible run. Great call. Misdirection up the middle. First down, and now I think we're going to have to go to our timeouts if you're Desales. You'll see on the replay, nice counter dive. Really, it was great blocking. He doesn't even get touched till the man tackles him. You could have.
Well, maybe. With a golf cart.
I'd like to see you try.
And 6 guys the size of Luke Chicken, maybe. And if I told him I knew Tom McDonald.
He's out there.
Yep. 1st and 10 from the 39. Under 4 minutes left to go now. Was that the backbreaker for the Stallions? We'll find out. This is Swearingen around the right side, still on his feet, all the way down across the 35 to the 34-yard line. It looked like he was going to go down back at the 41-yard line because there was great pursuit on the play by number 22, Jim Hassey, the outside linebacker.
Exactly. Well stated, Randy. You'll see on the replay, nice in, Hassey does, but a great job of keeping his momentum was Mark Swearingen. The last time, Hassey won that battle and stopped him on 4th down. This time, Swearingen won the battle.
2nd down and 3 as they attend right now to Jason Spicer. His evening is through. Handoff to Hairston, right up the gut. First down, Cougars.
He's hit hard, and there's another big first down, Randy, down to about 3 minutes left.
Down to about the 28-yard line, and now I would think if you're the Stallions, if you can hold on first down a little bit, maybe you start using those timeouts.
Boy, you better. You better, because you can sure run an awful lot of plays on offense. You'll see on the replay just a big handoff to the fullback, little jab step right up the middle. He gets popped pretty well.
In fact, the Stallions will take a timeout right now. Maybe they heard us. That's their first with 3:06 left to go. Desales takes a timeout, trailing by 6 points.
I think they're going to need to get one more first down, Randy, and that's what the coaching staff of Beechcroft is probably out there saying. One more first down. And
I remember your call from last week. We're not in this situation, but remember last week we had a 1-point game, Whitehall and Gahanna, and you said almost in a situation like that, it's almost better. The team is just going to run out the clock to let him score. Gahanna scored. Whitehall got the ball back at midfield and nearly had a chance to tie that game on the last play.
Yes, my 1-point theory.
Your 1-point theory. Unfortunately, it doesn't work here because we're talking about a 12-point theory here.
There aren't many ways to get around that. I think tackling the football is going to be very important, too. They're going to need a turnover if they don't stop them on this series.
And if you're Beechcroft in this territory, do you go for it on 4th down?
Well, I think so, definitely. You're going to hang on to that football, too. It's more important to hang on to that football than try to fight for the extra yard.
1st and 10. Handoff goes to the first man through. They'll just gut it and pick up maybe 3 on the play. You can't even see anything from our angle up here. You've got the best view. I'm going to assume that's Hairston you see with the ball down across the 25 to the 24-yard line. This is a guy that quietly has done the job for the Cougars. Mark Hairston at 5'7" and 190 has really filled the bill at fullback as Carlos Segovia makes the stop.
And Gene Martin's back in, Big Gene. He sucked up that ankle injury, and he says, I'm going to go till the end of this one.
Gain of 3 on the play. Let's call it 2nd down and 7. Our headsets came back.
My God. It's been a while.
It's a miracle. 2:25 left to go. Right up the gut. Another gain for about 3 on the play. Beechcroft is working the clock as Sean Harris takes it off the left side, gets it down to the 22-yard line. Now will the Stallions take a timeout?
They sure should.
And they do.
Definitely. Matter of fact, maybe right. They could have maybe done that a little bit quicker.
It almost seems like we're calling the timeouts. Every time we mention it, they're taking the timeout.
Well, I think they've got one more left.
Yep, unofficially.
And they'll probably have to use it after this play, and as a result, I wouldn't see Beechcroft putting the ball in the air.
Now, a reminder once again, next week we will be at New Albany High School. The Eagles to soar high and take on Centerburg.
Yes, and I have a prediction that they'll probably both be 2-0, and for the 3rd week in a row, we'll pit 2 undefeated teams against each other.
Get out of here.
Hey,
you think so?
I
See,
do.
New Albany defeated, I think it was Unioto in week number 1 of the season.
It was.
And Centerburg victorious last week. I don't have a clue as to who they beat, but by next week I will know.
You don't.
Every time we have New Albany on the schedule, it means one interesting and unique trip for me. I've been to Danville in the past, up to Howard to see East Knox. We had them playing Bern Union, went down to Sugar Grove. So now I'll go up to Knox County and see the folks up at Centerburg High School.
So you're going to go on record as telling me exactly where this game is next week, and it is?
At New Albany.
At New Albany, thank you. I'll be there.
Tom will show up at Desales. If you want to give Tom directions, right to that address. He needs help, okay? They're down situation. There it is. That is Harris. That is the game breaker. It is a touchdown. Sean Harris with 2:07 left to go, and now it is 27-15.
Turn out
the lights.
There you go. Great run. 2nd and 3rd effort. He had the 1st down initially, but he wanted more, and he says, I want to get 6. I want that name in the paper. You'll see a nice kick out block by the right, or the fullback. Oh, he breaks 2 or 3 tackles there, and a happy, happy young man. Good job, Sean.
You know what? Swearingen's been hitting him, and Hairston's been hitting him, and then Harris steals the thunder a couple of times. The snap is behind the holder, so you can't blame that one on either Finkel or the holder, number 82 on the play, Eric Johnston. The kick is no good. We stay at 27-15.
The holder did a great job.
Yeah, he did.
That's unbelievable.
Had a great recovery with the snap behind him.
Sure did. It was almost... Of course, that's not really going to count.
27-15.
That point.
Rushing now in this contest. Listen to this. Harris, 15 carries, 92 yards. Swearingen, 13 for 58. Sharp, 13 for 45. Hairston, 7 for 23. Harris has 2 touchdowns in this game. For Desales, Magistrale, 17 carries, 68 yards. Nessler, 7 carries for 34 yards and a touchdown. Unofficially, I have each team with a timeout left here in the 2nd half. Desales needs to score twice, so right now they're just thinking 1 score. And 2:07 left on the clock. It's going to be a tough road to hoe for the Stallions, but stranger things have happened.
That's for sure, but let's focus in on number 33, Larry Thomas, the 5'5", 135-pound junior who's Mr. Maniac on these special teams.
Yeah, maybe we can ISO on him on the way down, number 33 for the Cougars, and we'll find out what happens to this guy.
There he is. Been in on about every tackle that he's been in the game.
He's a terror at 135 pounds. This guy is actually lighter than me. There is somebody on planet Earth lighter than me. It's over the age of 15. It's hard to believe.
A lot of times they put the contain man on the very outside, but if that's where he's been coming from, he's not the contain man tonight.
Magistrale is the deepest of the 3 backs for the Stallions at the 9-yard line. McCarter ready to boot it, teed up at the 40, 2:07 left to go, 27-15 Cougars.
Did you see what they did with Thomas?
Yep. And this is Magistrale taking it outside, working his way up across the 30-yard line, goes out of bounds along the far side of the field.
What they did was they made him the safety man because they know he's going to knock you down if you ever get to him, and they were very cautious about the big return. So he kind of took that play off.
So it'll be first down for the Stallions. Mark the ball officially at their own 41-yard line with 2:01 left. Is it time to play pass ball?
It's got to be. You've got to throw it up, and I'm curious to see if Beechcroft will still remain in their tight defense. They look like they're loosening a little bit with their linebackers.
Volpe wide to the bottom of the formation. Emmerling rolls to the top. The pass downfield.
Good.
Along the far side is complete for Sauer.
Good for a first down, and more importantly, Randy,
stops the clock.
You got it.
I tell you what, Sauer's really impressed me. They've not thrown a lot to him this contest, but Sauer and Pickle have showed us great hands, and Volpe great speed.
You're right. I think it's going to pay off. You'll see the blitz. Nice pickup by the offensive line. Good pitch and catch.
The yard markers are obliterated now on the far side of the field. I'm going to guess the ball is about the 48-yard line in Cougar territory with 1:50 left to go. Clock running. Stallions down by 12. They need to hurry. Emmerling looking across the middle. The pass is picked off. Intercepted on the play by number 44, Tyrone Hairston, the middle linebacker, coming into your living room. Make way.
Great job, and you know, with a tight end like Pickle, you have to look for him on time to time, and they did in that particular case, and Hairston was licking his chops ready. You'll see on the replay, Pickle drags across the bottom of the screen here. Oh, but right in front is number 44, Tyrone Hairston.
So it's time to kill the clock if you're the Cougars with 1:36 left to go. Remember, each team with one timeout left in this contest, so the Stallions could stop it one more time. That would be it. 27-15 is the score. We'll see what happens.
Two great football teams tonight, Randy. They're going to win a lot of games between them.
Lando Sharp brings them up to the line of scrimmage. Three backs in the backfield. He'll keep it, take it off the right side, gain a couple of yards, and let the clock run.
I'll be a little surprised if he goes into the line on this next one. We want to keep that man healthy. We just take the ball and take a knee. Keep the clock running.
Yep. And I would not be surprised if the Stallions do not use their final timeout. Down by 12, less than a minute now left in this contest. Some other good games tonight. Reedy at Wheelersburg. Oh, Wheelersburg.
It's
that
tough.
Team gets a lot of teams in Central Ohio. You know, I feel sorry for Reedy, but Reedy is a tough team. Coach Corey, that team whipped up. Maybe they can pull off the upset. They gave him a tough game last year. Gahanna's at Reynoldsburg. Of course, the Raiders lost last week, I believe, at Barberton, wasn't it?
Yes, Barberton's a tough place to play, though, on the road in the first game of the season. I'm sure that Coach Stewart will get his team back in the picture, although Gahanna's no easy contest.
Westerville South is at Worthington-Kilbourne tonight as we tape. Logan at Chillicothe, Mount Vernon at Grove City. Ooh, good luck, Yellow Jackets. You're going to need it. Delaware at Hilliard. We've got Brookhaven at Upper Arlington. That's a surprise. Both of those teams are 0-1 on the season.
I'd like to see that game because I think that's going to be a heck of a ball game.
Maybe we could have sent you there instead. Next time we'll do that.
That was close.
That goes off the left side, and we're just killing the clock now. Down under 40 seconds left to go. Other interesting contest: St. Charles at Briggs, Walnut Ridge at Thomas Worthington, Watterson at Whetstone, Whitehall at Hartley.
There you go. You gonna pick an upset in that one, or?
I don't know about that one.
No, I don't know either.
At Hartley, be tough, but John Hurt was quite a performer last week.
He looked good. I'm sure they have the scouting report on him, and Coach Geyer does an excellent job.
Down to 10 seconds left to go. Cougars outcrawled the Stallions tonight. The Stallions tried to run and could not do it against that Cougar defense in the first half. So Desales will go to 1-1 on the season. Beechcroft will go to 2-0. It's all over. The final score, Beechcroft 27, Desales 15. Tom and I will be back with some closing comments right after this. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Cougar Stadium. It's all over. Beechcroft wins by a score of 27-15. They advance their record to 2-0 on the season. Tom, what caught your eye in this contest?
I'll tell you, the way Beechcroft executed offensively is very sound fundamentally. They moved the ball almost at will, and of course they put some points on the board when they needed to.
All right, let's take a look at the numbers now for this contest. These are our unofficial team stats for this contest between Desales and Beechcroft. Checking the numbers, they look something like this. First downs, Beechcroft with the advantage. The Cougars 2-1 on the ground. Passing yards close. Anything that catches your eye there, Tom?
Well, you notice the turnovers as well as the rushing yards. Both favor Beechcroft. Desales committed 3 turnovers. Beechcroft only had 1.
All right, time now to check out the Sports Medicine Grant players of the game. One from each school. For Desales, tough choice. Luke Fickle had a good game, but we picked Nick Magistrale, the running back.
Very tough kid, and he really didn't get a whole lot of blocking, Randy. He ran hard when he had the football, and we have to give him the player of the game.
He had 17 carries for 68 yards. Meanwhile, for Beechcroft, we picked Sean Harris.
Yeah, Sean Harris was outstanding, and of course the quarterback, the whole offensive line did a nice job. Defense played excellent, but we gave it to Harris. He scored 2 touchdowns, very good runner.
And had 15 carries for 92 yards as well. So Beechcroft is now 2-0 on the season. Desales is 1-1. If you're Bob Jacoby, what do you tell your Stallions?
Well, they're still a very excellent football team, Randy. I think they realize that. They lost to a team that's going to win 9, 10, maybe 11, 12 games this year. I think Beechcroft's got the talent to go all the way.
All right, we'll check out the talent on the east side next weekend when we go to New Albany High School as Centerburg takes on New Albany. Check out that game next Friday night and Sunday morning. Our final score one more time here was Beechcroft 27, Desales 15. So we'll be at New Albany next week. At least I'll be there. Tom might be at Fisher Catholic, who knows. But for Tom McDonald, I'm Randy Reinhardt. So long, everybody, from Cougar Stadium.